What up? 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 We got the press briefing coming up here with Caroline Levitt. So we're gonna have that to react to. That's exciting. But oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Check into the stream, everybody. How are we doing today? How are we doing today? It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, my dudes. November 12th. How are you guys doing? Let's get some sound. So I'm like, there you go. Some background sound. It was too quiet. Check into the stream we are watching from. You know, we're gonna have it's gonna be a mix of emotions day today between the release of the emails that have came out this morning, and also we got the government. Well, if everything goes how it should end, the shutdown should end. The House should pass the Senate bill, and then it should go to and Trump will sign it, and then the government shutdown will end. So you have that. And the absolute L that the Democrats gave to themselves. Because, like, could you imagine if, like, the government wasn't shutting down and the Democrats were still holding? And then I don't understand. Anyways, well, I'll be ranting about that later. But, you know, this could have came out while the government was shut down. And, like, it would have just been, it's been a bad week for Trump. It's been very bad between the H-1B visas comment he's made, between the 50-year mortgage comments he's made. I'm tapping back in a little bit because I've been out in the streets of Chicago a couple times, not as often as some of my other fellow independent journalists. Shout out to Status Coup, who's been out there just constantly. Amanda Moore on Twitter. Ford Fisher was just recently out there. Brendan Gutenschweiger was out there. BG on the scene was out there. All the activists. But my independent journalists that are out there, my fellow journalists, they've been out there way more than I have. But, you know, I just been, it's like a different mindset, right? If this feels comfortable, this is comfy. I get to wear my hoodie and my sweatpants and watch politics and do sports narration, basically. But out there, I like to be outside, and it's just a different mindset. So I'm back in now. I'm back inside. And everything Trump's been doing now that I'm caught up has been even worse. My version of worse is watching what his federal government is doing with the police in the streets and how they're treating neighborhoods. So I've been seeing like a militarized version of Trump, which lines up with his Project 2025 that he wants to do. It's the common theme. That's why damn near every stream I do now is the Project 2025 in action header on it, because it's just what it is. But you have a lot of bad happening in his own base right now. MAGA is not okay right now. Things are not okay. Also, Twitch is cooked for another 6 hours, guys. So apparently on Twitch, it's considered fake engagement if I have the chat on the screen. You know, see this chat over here? And by having the Twitch chat integrated into it, it's considered false engagement according to Twitch. So I've had a ban now like once a month. Once a month I get a ban on Twitch. I'll show you guys here in a second. And we're going to get into everything too. I just don't want to get into something before Nazi Barbie starts talking here. Hear what she has to say about the Epstein files or the Epstein emails, Cope. So there you go. So I've received one once a month, almost on the same day. So I'm probably being you know, reported because I'm not doing anything that I think is wrong, but I think it has to do when you read it. And I've appealed 3 times and they continue to reject it. When you read it, okay, it's like a 1-day suspension. It's like nothing. It's nothing terrible. Like, oh my God, it's gone. I mean, my Twitch is getting big now. I got like 12K on there. So you can't do follow for follow shit on Twitch. I don't do that. You can't have other people do it. Whatever, lurk for lurk, host for weird ass. Yeah, I would consider that. That would be engagement farming or engagement baiting. Rebroadcasting your VODs for Twitch drops. I mean, I did Twitch drops for Battlefield 6, but I wasn't doing VODs. I was streaming Battlefield 6 on my Twitch so I can get those drops. I haven't streamed gaming since then. And then the bottom one that makes sense, I guess, is using a third-party service, which I use Restream. That's what I use for my multi-stream. From other platforms or services on your Twitch stream during your simulcast. So that I believe that is my chat I have up here with Twitch in it. And that is, it's just stupid. What in the fucking rule is that? And then such as merging chat or other features, as this excludes or limits the Twitch community from the entirety of the experience. And how does that make sense? Doesn't that include Twitch? If like I have multiple platforms and I'm putting the Twitch stream in the chat, what do you mean is it's excluding? More like you're not making us the focus of your stream. Yeah, that's the real language there. Thanks Twitch. Good try. That's what that should say. You're not giving us the full attention, because if that is the case about excluding my Twitch from my community, they wouldn't be integrated in anything on my stream. It would just kind of be a stream. And yeah, I've like over time, like I've gotten better at reading the Twitch chat on myself, but they're always on the stream. They're always a part of like my live stream, up above me in the chat. That like is permanent when it's posted to my channel. You guys can rewatch the chat flow, because sometimes YouTube removes the chat, or if on Facebook too, because Facebook, you guys can't see the YouTube stream unless you come look at it. And X, if anybody's watching on X, I don't know. Maybe there might be. If there ever is, I don't see a chat there, and you should come to YouTube or somewhere we can see you and say hi. But I don't know. People do watch there. I know that for a fact. I have like how many people are watching me? Wow, 58 people are watching me on X, dude. I gotta start an X career now. God dang, dude, almost 60 viewers on that's not. I have 58 views so far. There's probably like 2 people watching. That means there's like if I have 58 views in 10 minutes, maybe 5 people. Maybe 5 people are watching. So thank you. Thank you to my 5 viewers on X. You guys are awesome. But come over to YouTube or Facebook to come and check it out and say hi. So this is dumb. I mean, I'm not, there's nothing I can really argue, because I think that's literally what it is. But it's still stupid. Dumb rule. What a dumb rule. I wonder why Twitch is falling off. It is. Like, it's not like, in terms of like where the energy is gone. Like, it's still the biggest streaming platform. The biggest streamers are still there. Like, I'm not saying that's going to change. But like, the energy is, people are going to Kick. That platform is so crazy. And then, or YouTube. YouTube streaming is getting better and better and better and better and better. I've been forcing it for over 5 years now, and it sucked at first. It still kind of is not the best. Like, I'd say the Twitch chat, I wish YouTube could have a Twitch type chat. That would be amazing. Like, that would be the thing YouTube could do, where there's like more features in it, and you guys can like respond to each other, highlight your I love all that on like the highlighting your message, the bits and stuff, and whatever. All the fun little chat things that Twitch does have. But that sucks. So, but if this goes on through the day, I mean, we'll be back. It'll be back later on tonight. It's not like it's a week ban or like a month or something. It's just 24 hours. But that's why I have multiple platforms. So if you're a streamer that watches me, or you do content, you should have multiple platforms. If you don't, you're cooked. All right? It is what it is. If you are not building multiple platforms, and it's a lot of work. So you think one platform's enough, try 4, 5. And you got to be doing it. So, yeah. So 12,000 followers on Twitch. If that was my only platform, that would suck, because then I would have to stream somewhere else, and hopefully my Twitch viewers would come over somewhere. Maybe, but that's why I learned my lesson 2020 when I was only streaming to Facebook, and Facebook was my only stream. And boy, did oh my God, I was in Facebook jail every week. I got 90-day bans, 90-day bans, 3-month bans. I couldn't stream. I was like, fuck. That's why I made YouTube. Started streaming on YouTube, and it was not good at first. It's rough. It's been a rough ride. It's gotten better though. So guys, if you're just tuning in, we're gonna be going through the Epstein emails to Trump. This is a live in the White House. We got a press briefing. You got the House gonna be voting to reopen the government. Nice. You only use, oh, here they go. They're going in. Oh, they put, oh, for that was the audio cue probably. To get the other audio up. I don't know. Put in the comments you guys are watching from. Put in the chat where you're watching from if you could. You think they're not gonna end the shutdown, Kim? Yeah, a lot of things will happen when it was like, that's why the Democrats should have not done, like those 8 Democrats are so stupid because this was hurting the Republicans on so many fronts, which is what needs to happen. I'm gonna get mad about it later, but we got hello, we got Egan, Portland, Houston, Texas, Florida. What up, Portland? California, New Mexico, Wisconsin. Here she comes. Nazi Barbie's coming. Oh, she's got Cash Patel with her. Oh boy, here comes some.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Oh,
Thank
boy.
you for being here today. We are going to get to my remarks and Q&A as always, but I do have the FBI director with me here, Cash Patel. You all know him well. And he's here to provide an update for you all with respect to China. As you know, President Trump had a very successful meeting on his trip to Asia with President Xi, where they discussed the need for China to crack down on fentanyl production and distribution, which ultimately makes
China fentanyl. No way, bro.
Recently traveled to China following President Trump's
China fentanyl
in Beijing, and he has a really positive announcement for the American people to share.
That's
so
what
the president wanted me to bring the FBI director out to share that with all of you today. So, Cash, please, thank you for being here.
Wow, nice. This is sick.
As Caroline mentioned, we have some tremendous news thanks to President Donald J. Trump once again for the American people. As soon as the President of the United States took office, he issued a mandate to rid America of the scourge that is fentanyl, a drug that has killed hundreds of thousands of Americans. Thanks to his leadership and direct engagement with China,
look at his haircut.
He set up a framework to execute that mission 8 months ago. Attorney General Bondi immediately thereafter took steps to meet her counterpart in China at the Ministry of Public Security. Pursuant to their direct discussions, as the FBI director designated to run counterpoint on this, along with the Secretary of State Rubio and Ambassador Perdue and the team here at the White House, we set forward a path to implement the policy needed to crush the plague of fentanyl. Deputy Attorney General Blanche and our teams have been hard at work ever since.
Guys, are you distracted yet?
My trip to Beijing last week.
Are you distracted?
This was only possible due to President Trump's historic engagement with President Xi just a few short weeks ago. That set the stage for today's announcement.
The fentanyl, though.
At that meeting, the leaders reached an agreement.
China fentanyl is crazy.
For the American people, a reminder here that nearly 100,000 people died of fentanyl overdoses just last year alone.
And China did it.
Here, this year, under this president, the FBI has seized 1,900 kilograms of fentanyl so far. That is a 31% increase from the same time period last year. To put it in perspective, that's enough fentanyl to kill 127 million Americans.
Wow. And China did it.
Fentanyl precursors are what makes up fentanyl.
Well, Merck. China bad.
The interagency, the Department of Justice have been fighting hard to seize and stop drug traffickers. We must attack fentanyl precursors, the ingredients necessary to make this lethal drug.
They think you're stupid.
That was the sole purpose of my trip to China, to eliminate
They think you're dumb as hell.
And if successful, we would suffocate the drug trafficking organization's ability to manufacture fentanyl in places like Mexico. I thought it wasn't
there. That's where I thought it was.
An FBI director has been to China in over a decade.
China.
The audience with his counterpart to address this matter directly. And again, thanks to President Trump's direct engagement with President Xi, the government of China committed fully to my engagement there on the ground in Beijing at a level never seen before.
This is nuts.
While at Ministry of Public Security headquarters, I met with my counterpart at MPS, where the Chinese government agreed on a plan to stop fentanyl precursors.
Really?
What does that mean? The People's Republic of China has fully designated and listed all 13 precursors utilized to make fentanyl. Furthermore,
wow.
they have agreed to control 7 chemical subsidiaries that are also utilized to produce this lethal drug.
Right. Lethal.
Effective immediately, essentially, President Trump has shut off the pipeline that creates fentanyl.
And Newsom kept it open.
Thousands of Americans.
Fuck.
These substances are now banned, and they will no longer be utilized by the Mexican drug trafficking organizations or any other DTOs around the world to make this drug.
China.
This historic achievement has saved tens of thousands of lives. This historic achievement would not have been possible without the tremendous team.
Wow, so you did something about it? Wow.
The Attorney General, the Department of Justice, the Federal Bureau of Investigation,
a problem,
and Ambassador Perdue
and a problem
China,
solved all in one.
Engagements were imperative to achieving this result. This is yet another example of how President Trump defends the American people.
What a boss.
Provides security for the American people.
He's so good.
The American people first.
Wow.
This is a historic first in its kind achievement by any president to stop the scourge of fentanyl, and it should be championed by everyone.
American. And you better appreciate it.
Save lives.
And you better like it.
For President Trump's steadfast leadership, and this FBI will fearlessly follow in his footsteps to ensure that this mission of safeguarding the American public is achieved every single day.
Have you said thank you?
Thank you so
fucking losers.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for that nothing fucking burger.
Thank you again, Director Patel. Before we get going,
Jesus Christ.
One quick scheduling announcement.
Fentanyl, China, and we fixed it.
In the East Room for an executive order signing aimed at expanding opportunities for education, career development, housing, and other resources for young people transitioning from foster care to adulthood. This is part of the First Lady's Fostering the Future efforts, which are a Be Best initiative. In other news, the Democrats dragged on the government shutdown for 43 days.
Why are you yelling, though?
Shutdown in U.S.
Quiet
history.
down.
But tonight, thanks to Republicans, the White House is very hopeful that this shutdown is going to come to an end. The damage caused by the Democrats with this reckless government shutdown cannot be forgotten. It is entirely the fault of the Democrats.
Democrats!
Hundreds of thousands of federal employees have missed their paychecks.
Now you care.
Millions in wages and benefits were withheld, impacting vulnerable families.
She's got her
low-income Americans missed their SNAP benefits. Nearly
little
20,000 flights
thing
to airports across the country were delayed.
Eye makeup
staffing
on like
shortages causing Americans to miss family events, vacations, and work obligations. According to Airlines for America, an estimated 5.2 million travelers have had their flights disrupted over the course of the Democrat. And our economy has lost billions in dollars in economic activity over the course of this shutdown, hurting consumer sentiment and crushing the travel and hospitality industries. According to a CBO estimate, the Democrat shutdown could end up decreasing economic growth by 2 whole percentage points. The Democrat shutdown made it extraordinarily difficult for economists, investors, and policymakers at the Federal Reserve to receive critical government data. The Democrats may have permanently damaged the federal statistical system, with October CPI and jobs reports likely never being released. And all of that economic data released is permanently impaired, leaving our policymakers at the Fed flying blind at a critical period.
Wow, that was a lot of P words. That was a lot of P words in one sentence.
Why? Why have the Democrats put the American people
Democrats
for 43 days in a row? And it feels like Groundhog Day being up here again talking about this Democrat shutdown.
Really?
And the answer to that question is pure partisan politics.
Pure partisan politics. More P words.
With a ridiculous demand to force taxpayer-funded healthcare benefits to illegal aliens who broke into our country. Even after it was clear President Trump and Republicans would never force American taxpayers to pay for free health care for illegals. In fact, President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill fixed that problem.
It did.
The Democrats kept dragging this reckless government shutdown on for weeks longer.
Epstein.
To boost their turnout in an election, perhaps one may guess. That's because the Democrats are
Epstein.
totally captured by their far left-wing base who only care about attacking President Trump,
Epstein.
even if it means hurting innocent Americans in our country.
Epstein.
The Democrats' weakness and their unwillingness to buck the fringe members of their party dragged this harmful shutdown on for 7 weeks and inflicted massive pain onto the American public.
Yeah.
But let's be clear. The clean
inflicted
CR
pain.
being voted on today in the House of Representatives that will lead to the reopening of the federal government is what President Trump and Republicans have supported from day one. Our troops, air traffic controllers, and federal employees will be back to receiving their regular paychecks. Families in need will get back to receiving their food purchasing assistance, and the people's government will soon be back open for business. President Trump looks forward to finally ending this devastating Democrat shutdown with his signature, and we hope that signing will take place later tonight. On another matter, I want to address the affordability issue that's received a great deal of media attention this past week, which is ironic because it didn't receive that much attention
when Biden
was at a record high 9%, the worst inflation crisis in modern American history. And President Trump won a landslide election in part to address the affordability issues created
He's done
by
nothing.
Joe Biden and the Democrats. And that's exactly what President Trump has done since day one of his administration. Since the first day in office and every day cost the Trump administration has taken aggressive action to fix the Biden-created living issues. The notion that the same Democrats who just shut down the federal government to sabotage our economy, rob people of their paychecks, and also helped Joe Biden ratchet up inflation to 9% are now suddenly affordability champions.
Think she'll say Obama?
That notion is completely absurd.
Right.
And it's something only the liberal media have the gall to push. But the reality is that President Trump and his administration have done so much to lower prices and increase the economic prosperity of the American people. And this president and his team of amazing economic advisors
so good.
are going to keep
And
working
say
on this
thank you.
issue every single day.
Yeah.
In less than 10 short months, President
Fire
Trump signed
and
the largest
kindness.
middle-class tax cuts in American history.
Where?
Including no tax on tips,
Where?
overtime, and Social Security, which will guarantee that next year Americans are going to put more money back into their pockets.
Right.
The president has completely unleashed American energy dominance to help bring gasoline prices to the lowest in 5 years, and we expect them to continue to decrease.
Where's that at?
It has also lowered energy costs overall. There is more work to do, but again, the president's deregulatory and pro-American energy agenda is absolutely going to continue to drive down prices.
Campaign slogans do that.
The formula worked in the president's first term, and we expect that it's going to work again. And this is key because we know energy costs are the #1 driver of inflation. Again, just look at what Joe Biden did to the industry over the past 4 years of his administration.
Biden did it.
What happened to inflation as a result?
Are they going to keep doing that?
Became more expensive. To lower prescription drug prices and healthcare costs, the president has been working around the clock on this issue.
You, Kelly.
He is obsessed with negotiating these good deals on behalf of the American people.
He's obsessed with it.
Bring down pharmaceutical costs and drug costs for Americans. And he has done so on a number of fronts. You have seen him discuss that in the Oval Office
with Trump RX.
To fuel small businesses, lower costs, and incentivize hiring. The Trump administration has already cut 30 unnecessary regulations for every new one on the books, which we know will save employers and small
Said that in the first term, too.
across the country thousands of dollars in regulatory burden.
That was a first term slogan.
All of these pro-Trump policies are working, and they will continue to work.
They're working so well.
Wages are rising at the fastest pace of the start of a presidential administration.
So much wages.
In 60 years.
All the wages.
The cost of the typical new mortgage is down by nearly $3,000 per year.
Where?
There's much work to do, and this administration will continue to do it. But President Trump has already made great progress in cleaning up the economic disaster that was created by Joe
Biden.
With that, I will take your questions today. And in our new media seat, we have Bev Turner, who works for a new outlet, a UK outlet, but based here in Washington, D.C., GB News. Bev, thank you for being here today. Why don't you kick us off?
Thank you, Caroline.
Wow. Yeah, take a breath. Jesus Christ. Did you get it all out? Look at her. She has to, she's out of breath. Democrats, Biden, liberals. She's like a fucking schizo, dude. She just fucking, she just went for a run.
The enemies of the BBC for this outcome.
Holy.
Yesterday. a senior government minister launched a fierce defence of the channel in the House of Commons, saying that the broadcaster remains a light on the hill for people all over the world. So, does the president feel that the network is taking the situation seriously? Does he believe that they've shown sufficient regret? Does this strain the relationship between the president and the prime minister? And given that the organisation is publicly funded, is the president prepared to bankrupt the BBC in his pursuit of truth and justice?
Well, thank you, Bev. There's a lot of questions in one there. I will say I know the president has a very good relationship with Prime Minister Starmer. You have been there. You've seen them in their interactions. You've questioned both leaders in your time joining us when we've gone to the United Kingdom a few different times now. However, he has always been very frank when he disagrees with leaders, even whom he has a good relationship with. And the BBC, being a fair news organization,
yeah, she does butthole mouth.
I think these two leaders.
There's like duck face, but Caroline Leavitt does butthole mouth, like
propaganda machine that is unfortunately
makes a butthole
subsidized by British taxpayers, and he thinks that's extremely unfortunate for the great people of the United Kingdom and Great Britain. And I think that the president was deeply concerned by the editing, the purposeful and dishonest editing of his speech that was so clearly fake news.
Fake
We
news.
dubbed that term many years ago, and this is a classic example of that. We see it in the United States all the time. We see it now in the United Kingdom.
Wow.
As you know, the president's external legal counsel has filed a lawsuit against the BBC. We expect that to continue, and whether they apologize or not is up to them. Thanks for being here, Bev. Ouija.
Thank you, Caroline.
Sure.
Whatever that lady is.
The new Epstein emails that have been released by House Democrats. Separate from why you believe the emails were made public, can you address their substance? Did the president ever spend hours at Jeffrey Epstein's house with a victim?
These emails prove absolutely nothing other than the fact that President Trump did nothing wrong. And what President Trump has always said is that he was from Palm Beach, and so was Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was a member at Mar-a-Lago until President Trump kicked him out because Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile and he was a creep. And this email you refer to with the name of a victim that was unredacted now and has since been reported on in this room, so I will go ahead and say it, Virginia Giuffre. And it was CBS's own reporting, Ouija, that recently wrote that Miss Giuffre maintained, and God rest her soul, that she maintained that there was nothing inappropriate she ever witnessed, that President Trump was always extremely professional and friendly to her. And so I think it's a question worth asking the Democrat Party, and you should all go ask them after this briefing, of why they chose to redact that name of a victim who has already publicly made statements about her relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and is unfortunately no longer with us. Mary.
Maybe because she was coerced.
Why not just go ahead
years later
on Epstein, get this all over with?
This administration has done more with respect to transparency when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein than any administration ever.
Biden.
In fact, this administration, the Department of Justice, has turned over tens of thousands of documents to the American people. We are cooperating and showing support for the House Oversight Committee. That's part of the reason you are seeing these documents that were released today, because of the House Oversight Committee's and Republicans' efforts to get these out to the public. This administration also moved, the Department of Justice also moved to unseal grand jury testimony, which we know, unfortunately, a judge declined those requests. So this administration has done more than any, and it just shows how this is truly a manufactured hoax by the Democrats Party. For now, they're talking about it all of a sudden because President Trump is in office. But when Joe Biden was sitting in there, the Democrats never brought this up. This wasn't an issue that they cared about because they actually don't care about the victims in these cases. They care about trying to score political points against President Trump. As we, of course,
it's a witch hunt.
This government shutdown. And this entire thing, again, it's not a coincidence to the American people at home. There are no coincidences in Washington, D.C. It is not a coincidence that the Democrats leaked these emails to the fake news this morning ahead of Republicans reopening the government. This is another distraction campaign by the Democrat and the liberal media, and it's why I'm being asked questions about Epstein instead of the government reopening because of Republicans and President Trump.
But given in transparency, Caroline, why are White House officials then meeting with Representative Boebert in an effort to,
She's so pissed.
to not sign this petition calling for the release of the files.
Doesn't it show transparency that members of the Trump administration are willing to brief members of Congress?
Exactly. Have you even said thank you?
Our level of transparency? Doesn't that show the level of transparency when we are willing to sit down with members of Congress and address their concerns? That is that's a defining factor of transparency.
Yeah,
having discussions with members of Congress about various issues, and I'm not going to detail conversations that took place in the Situation Room in the press briefing room.
She wants to call her a bitch so bad.
Thank you. I'm glad someone does.
First, on the government
shutdown,
the shutdown deal reverses the
Yeah, ask me about the shutdown.
also prohibits more from happening until the end of January.
You want to talk about that?
I'm wondering if the president had input on this element of the deal, and if he's at all disappointed that's going to reverse the downsizing of the federal government that they did during the shutdown.
I mean, look, I think it's about 6,000 workers total. When you look at that in comparison to the reduction in the federal workforce that this administration has done since January to get rid of the waste, the fraud, the abuse, and to reduce the size of our federal bureaucracy, we've done a lot of great work on that front, and we will continue to. But obviously, the president's main priority was to reopen the federal government and get people back to work, and that's what this deal accomplishes.
Line, there's been reports in Israeli media that the U.S. is considering building a temporary military base on the Gaza border. Can you confirm these reports?
So I had a conversation directly with the reporter who wrote this article, and this article was
Fake
based
news.
on a single piece of paper, an inquiry that somebody in the Department of Navy made about an idea that may happen in the future. And this reporter deemed that as an official plan and ran with a story that the United States is looking into it. I checked with the highest levels of the United States federal government.
I checked.
This is not something the United States is interested in being engaged in. It's not something we are currently involved in right now that we will be funding. And the president has been very clear he doesn't want to see boots on the ground with respect to what's happening in the Middle East. We've made great peace. We've made great progress with the peace plan in Gaza, and we want to continue to see that move forward. But I put a comment in that story for a reason. And sometimes we see reporters take a piece of paper like this and just deem it as official policy, and sometimes that misleads people a little bit.
A little bit.
Sure.
There's been a question about UK intelligence sharing regarding the drunk interdictions involving Venezuelan boats. How will that affect the U.S. military operation? There's been a lot of discussion about
We need more Epstein questions. Not enough.
provided before any of these military actions have taken place.
I've seen that report. Oh, hello. I've seen that report. I'm familiar with the reporting, but we don't comment on intelligence matters, classified intelligence matters, as you know. As for the Trump administration's position on our narco-terrorist campaign in the Caribbean, it is going to continue, and the president has made it very clear he's not going to allow terrorists to bring illegal drugs that kill American citizens into our great country. Sure, John. I'll go to John and then Zolan. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Trump has talked about sending out $2,000 checks to U.S. citizens. Earlier this year, he also talked about sending a Doge dividend. That didn't materialize. Should U.S. Citizens expect a $2,000 proposal? Is the White House committed to making that happen?
The White House is committed to making that happen, yes.
So committed.
We are currently exploring all legal options to get that done. I don't have a timeline for you or any further details, but I can confirm for you that the president made it clear he wants to make it happen, and so his team of economic advisors are looking into it, and when we have an update, we'll provide one. Solon.
I gave those Americans money.
Costs of the government shutdown.
Just give them money and then they'll shut up. That's
Can you explain
$1,200.
why the administration went to court to fight the funding of food stamps and SNAP?
And then they gaslight you.
Recipients.
Wow, you're not appreciative of money.
Shut the government down, and they forced the administration to tap into a contingency fund that did not even fund the full entirety of this program. And so then you had an unhinged judge who was trying to dictate from the bench what the executive branch has to pay for and where that money has to come from. That is judicial overreach at its finest. And so that's why the administration pushed back on that. We can't have the judicial branch telling the executive branch that we need to rob the Children Nutrition Fund, which is what this judge was trying to do, to pay for SNAP benefits. That's completely inappropriate and it's unconstitutional, and we've been proven right with that legal argument. But now the good news is, again, thanks to Republicans and in several hours hours, President Trump, the government is going to be reopened, and SNAP recipients are going to receive their full benefits, which is what President Trump has always wanted to do.
Right.
Stephen.
Why also
For sure.
need the judicial process for that? I mean, during this shutdown, didn't the administration have a responsibility to tap into any of those reserves to ensure that essentially poor people could rely on?
We did tap into it.
We did.
Tap into the contingency fund. And then the judge told us, no, you have to get more money from a children's nutrition fund. And we felt that was judicial overreach. You shouldn't tell the president which fund he has to rob because the Democrats
rob
are hostage by shutting down the federal government.
The language is crazy.
Well, if the president is considering a pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell.
Again, he's answered this repeatedly. It's not something he's talking about or even thinking about at this moment in time. I can assure you of that. Stephen.
Caroline, I've got 2 questions about New York for you.
Sure.
First,
you always do.
Mayor-elect
ran for the New York Post.
Mayor-elect Mamdani, he said that he plans to reach out to President Trump and that, quote,
what a weirdo.
Relationship,
She's a psycho, dude.
Does the White House have a response to this?
Smiling to serious in like 2
First
seconds.
time I'm hearing of it. I'll let the president respond himself to that comment by Mr. Mamdani.
My second question, Jack Schlossberg, the grandson of President Kennedy, announced today that he's running for Congress. He, in the recent past, has referred to his uncle, the HHS secretary, as, quote, a rabid dog, and he has said that the Trump administration is, quote, the most corrupt in American history. Does the White House have a comment on this sort of comment from a rising star in the Democratic Party?
I don't even think such ridiculous comments are worth responding to.
Wow.
Obviously, those things are not true. And Secretary Kennedy
Owned.
did a phenomenal job bringing transparency and the gold standard of science back to our healthcare system. Eamon.
Sick own.
The president's hosting a number of Wall Street CEOs for dinner tonight here at the White House. Can you give us the names of the CEOs who are going to be here and give us a sense of what the president's message to Wall Street is going to be tonight?
I don't have a full list for you in front of me, Eamon. I know you've reported on some names, and we've helped you navigate whether those names were truthful or false. But I know the president actually plans to bring some of you into the dinner tonight, so you'll see for yourself in several hours if that's okay with you.
And there's been some reporting that the White House is frustrated with Bill Pulte and the rollout of this proposal for a 50-year mortgage. Can you tell us if the White House is frustrated with that rollout and if the White House still supports the idea of a 50-year mortgage?
50-year mortgage.
This is a proposal that the president himself has commented on. I would defer you to the president's statements, and it's something that the administration is discussing and seriously looking into.
What does that mean?
Danny, and then go ahead.
Thank you. Some Democratic members of Congress have invited Britain's former Prince Andrew to testify on the Epstein scandal. I was just wondering if President Trump thinks that former Prince Andrew should indeed come and testify to Congress on that.
I haven't spoken to him about that specific matter, but I can ask him.
Are we still talking about Epstein?
On the government shutdown, the president and House Republicans had made clear they were not going to negotiate health care strategy or policy while the government was shut down. Now, assuming that it reopens tonight, is the president intending to invite any Democrats over?
Absolutely not.
Negotiations over these subsidies or any other plan to bring down the cost of health insurance?
I will just add that, as you pointed out, the Democrats were holding our country hostage to try to negotiate on a healthcare system that they created.
Wow.
Obamacare, as it's famously called.
There it is.
The system the Democrats created. It is a broken system.
There you go.
Has driven up
there you fucking go.
dramatically in this
there you
country.
go.
And now they shut the government down to try to fix that system they broke. It doesn't make any sense to us, which is why the president said that's a completely untenable position. However, once the government reopens, the president, as he's always maintained, is absolutely
Trump MD
to having conversations about health care. And I think you'll see the president putting forth some really good policy proposals the Democrats should take very seriously to fix, again, the system that they broke. You can't trust the same people who broke the system to fix it. And so the American people will continue to hear from the president on this issue.
Crazy.
Follow up on the question about
crazy lies about the ACA. But that's why the Democrats caving sucks.
Tariffs to bring down
sucks so bad.
Debt. Would this be in lieu of that? Like this is now the new way to maybe to use that tariff revenue?
No, the president put out a statement on this clarifying he wants to do both things with the tariff revenue that he's bringing into this country. Trillions of dollars are expected to continue to pour in. And it's part of the reason that the Supreme Court case is so vital for our country's future, to restore our manufacturing industry in this country, to protect our national security, to continue to allow the president to use tariffs as leverage to negotiate economic deals that, again, are good for our national security. And that revenue can then be used for various reasons, to pay down our debt and also perhaps to give these rebate checks back to Americans, which, again, the White House is exploring the legal options of how we can get that done. Catherine, go ahead.
Caroline, Viktor Orban said this week that President Trump has promised Hungary some kind of financial shield. Do you have any details on how that will be structured or what that would look like?
I don't, but I'm happy to check with the National Security Council and get back to you.
One more. You recently said you'd check with President Trump about why he needs to get an MRI on his recent trip to Walter Reed. Do you have any more detail on that?
I do, and I'm glad you asked. As stated in the memo provided on October 10th, President Trump received advanced imaging at Walter Reed Medical Center as part of his routine physical examination.
Specimen.
The full results were reviewed by attending radiologists and consultants, and all agreed that President Trump remains in exceptional physical health, which I know all of you will see with your own eyes later this evening when he opens up his dinner to the press, and perhaps you will see him when he signs the bill to reopen the federal government. So stay tuned for plans for that. Thank you, everyone.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Caroline. Thank you, Nazi Barbie, with your November brown. Well, there that was. Okay, so China, Fiat. Why did they even, like, what was this? This was nuts. That just shows you how irrelevant the FBI is now in terms of, like, well, this was crazy. China, fentanyl, scary, and we fixed it. He both gave a problem and then said we solved it, both in the same thing. And then Caroline's like, okay, thanks, Kash Patel, everybody. And then she takes the stage and then she does her thing and then like is out of breath by the end of it because she's just like ranting about liberals and Joe Biden and the same old every time. And then you get nothing really. And then you got the president having an event tonight. Okay, so, wow. Well, there that was. You should switch back over to the government here. In the House vote. Let's see, press briefing over. Gotta wait for that to come back up. Check into the stream, everybody. How are we doing? How are we doing? The stream to end the government shutdown should come back up here. There you go. Hakeem Jeffries gonna host a press conference. Okay. So we'll get House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries here in 4 minutes before they go vote, likely. So we'll hear that. But yeah, what a psycho administration. They're the ones that campaigned on Epstein, and now they're like, whoa, hold on now. Hold on. We didn't say that. We didn't say we wanted you to look at him when you found out that Trump is in him. You got to stop looking at him now. So I got a bunch of tweets and posts about it, as well as the full emails, and we'll probably have to wait until after Hakeem Jeffries to go through that. But right away though, the initial emails, at least 3 of them, we got more. Let me see. How do I zoom in? No. Can you guys read that? Not really. So this is one of the bigger ones here. I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Victim who, like, it's crazy how Republicans are all about protect victims. They don't care about that at all. They're like, we'll just say her name. It's Virginia Giuffre, who they coerced before whatever happened to her in April, right? The accusations are confessions oftentimes, right? So a lot of the things with like the Clintons and stuff, that's the shit like Trump is really doing, I think, behind the scenes to cover up the Epstein connection. So blank victim spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned. Police chief, etc. I'm 75% there. So the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. So one that won't talk. Blank victim, Mar-a-Lago. Blank, Trump said he asked me to resign. Never remember ever. Of course he knew about the girls, as he asked Ghislaine to stop. So, if like, the worst is that he was an associate or like the lowest case scenario, I guess, of this, which I think he was directly engaged in the behavior, multiple instances and evidence that show that, but at the very, very, very least, he knew, and he was aware of everything that was happening, and you're just as guilty. You are just as guilty of those engaging in what Epstein had going on as if you knew about it and you said nothing. And Trump's already, that's why the Republican Party and MAGA put the Epstein, maybe not maybe the MAGA movement because they were lied to, but the ones wielding it had to have known Trump was connected and had to be like, let's make that our issue. And then if we make it our issue, then they won't look at us as the ones responsible for doing it. And like, we'll just accuse Democrats of doing it. And Democrats are that. And then when it's funny how when Trump is like the main focus of the Epstein files, how quickly that the interest is like, oh, well, no, that we're not interested no more. Now we don't care. We don't care about the files. What Epstein files? From Michael Wolff, who, by the way, that's interesting. I think you should let him hang himself. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the house, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency. You can hang him in a way that potentially generates a positive benefit for you. Or if it looks like he could win, you could save him, generating a debt. This is in 2015. This is a big one. This is before the Trump's first term. Of course, it is possible that, when asked, he'll say Jeffrey is a great guy and has gotten a raw deal and is a victim of political correctness, which is to be outlawed in a Trump regime. Which tells you that like they were crafting the red pill whole belief system and ideology of all of that way back then. That's why we've been in this hellhole of nonsense for 10 years now, of like woke and all this fucking political correctness. It's just an attack on accountability. That's all it is. Do some people go overboard with it? Yep, that happens. Some people take words out of context or blame when it isn't warranted, for sure. Definitely does happen. But really, it was like accountability for post 9/11, the war on terror, the direction the country was going. Like it was just like people were putting a microscope on it, a magnifying glass on the situation. And then when Trump and the Republicans realized they were cooked because of Bush, and like Obama had a great economy going forward, and he had served 2 terms, and they're like, well, we can't have more Democrats lead. They had to full send into lying and conspiracy and distractions. And really nothing. In the Republican Party, there's no policies anymore. They have nothing that will help the Americans. It's not like I can even say that. And I'm not saying that the Democrats have all good policies. Some are bad, but at least they have some. There's like a couple. There's like a few that you get. You unlock a few policies with the Democrats. With the Republicans, though, you don't. None. There's nothing unless you're a billionaire or a millionaire. Then you get stuff. Then you get tax breaks. Then you get more business opportunities, you get more money. But unless you're a millionaire or a billionaire or a useful idiot, which then you'll get the useful idiots of the Republican Party get money because they're trying to uphold the bullshit. So they get like crumbs from the millionaires. Oh, thank you. Give them like gifts and shit. They usually have media platforms. So they get like inflow of cash, so they get the money trickled down to them, but it's just so that way they uphold the billionaires and millionaires that are above them because they've been chosen to do that as useful idiots. But beyond that, though, there's nothing in the Republican Party for the American people. Zero. None at all, right? But then obviously it's tough because then you look at the Democratic Party and then it's like when you see them fight for the American people, they'll give up after like 5 minutes. When things get tough, when it really is like the airline corporations are probably like having a fit and their profits were going down because the airports were clogged and airlines were getting canceled or flights were getting canceled and some shit was actually getting some shit in the flow was actually starting to have some kinks in it of like what's going on out here. And so that's likely what really kicked in to have those 8 Democrats go, hey, we got to be open to government. Because clearly the Republican Party has no interest in making a deal to continue ACA subsidies and benefits. You just heard Caroline Leavitt in the press conference say, hell no, that's a broken system. The Obamacare is broken. It costs too much, which is it doesn't. It doesn't, and it didn't cause anyone that's on private health care. It didn't cause your fucking health care to go up, because it didn't cause your premiums to go up because people are on Obamacare. You're a moron if you believe that, right? But you blame people that need government assistance at the lowest level to get what the lowest amount of health care possible, just so they can get by. And then you want to complain about them, but not your own healthcare company charging you premiums up the ass. And that's not a problem, though. You're not mad at the healthcare company, or you're not mad at your health insurance. You're mad at the people that are just trying to get the lowest healthcare possible, the lowest possible healthcare with the government healthcare. Calling it communism and socialism, it's insane. Every single major established country has healthcare. Not every single one. I shouldn't say that, but most established Western countries have universal health care, or have nationwide health care. It's insane that we don't. It's just because the corporations and the billionaires run this shit. We have oligarchy government, and they need money. Fuck you, give them money. Government health care means they get less money. That's all it is. You can cry and say it's communism and government this, government that. We pay taxes. So the government should use that money towards giving us health care. Right? Are we in a situation under Republican governments to where you stop paying taxes? Did that happen? Huh? Did Donald Trump take power and you stop paying money to the government every month? Every paycheck? Yes, monthly, but paycheck? Did that stop? Did Trump fix that? No, you're still paying taxes. So those tax money should be going towards things that actually help us. And then when Trump's version of fixing it is like making his own brand of shit. It's not like navigating policies of the government to help. It's like, no, subscribe to Trump MD. I'm not kidding. Trump RX, Trump cell phone, Trump mobile, his product. He's enriching himself, and it's so insane. Like, if you're MAGA, you gotta, boy, there's nothing to argue anymore. You have nothing at this point. If you still like cling on to being MAGA, if you're a Trump supporter still, there's nothing there for you at all. There's no arguments to be made. You'll lose every single political debate at this point. No marketplace of ideas. This audio is so bad. This audio is like, my bad. I don't want to blow out your guys' base at home if you're watching on TV. Is there going to be another feed? Coming soon, lawmakers. Oh, they're in recess. Okay. Okay, here they come. Okay, audio got better.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's a high honor and a distinct privilege to be joined today by Whip Catherine Clark, Caucus Chair Pete Aguilar, members of House Democratic leadership, and the House Democratic Caucus. House Democrats are here on the Capitol steps to reiterate our strong opposition to this spending bill because it fails to address the Republican health care crisis and it fails to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits.
The House stayed unified. That's what's tough about it, is the House was unified on, like,
House Democrats will continue.
It's Schumer and the Democrats in the Senate.
Uniform. We will continue to support hardworking federal employees. We will continue to support our law enforcement personnel. House Democrats will continue to support our air traffic controllers. We will continue to support our TSA agents. We will continue to support our civil servants who have been under attack since day one of the Trump administration. But we cannot support the Republican effort to gut the health care of the American people. Today, House Democrats will introduce legislation to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits for 3 years.
And it's going to get shot down. And then Democrats will be proven stupid in the Senate.
Don't experience dramatically increased premiums, copays, and deductibles. We believe that working class Americans, middle class Americans, and everyday Americans deserve the same level of certainty that Republicans always provide to the wealthy, the well-off, and the well-connected. The same level of certainty. And so we're calling upon our Republican colleagues to join us and extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits. And we will be working hard today, tomorrow, and throughout the balance of this year to make sure that those Affordable Care Act tax credits are extended. Now, Republicans
with no leverage, though,
control the House,
yeah,
the Senate, and the presidency. They own the mess that has been created in the United States of America. They own it. In a few hours, we will convene on the House floor. And our message to the American people is no matter what happens on the floor later on today, our promise to you remains the same. House Democrats will continue to fight to make your life more affordable. House Democrats will continue the fight to address the Republican health care crisis, and House Democrats will fight to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits. This fight is not over. We're just getting started.
Oh.
We're just getting started.
Okay.
Now, among the many outrageous things that has been said during the Trump Republican shutdown, or done during the Trump Republican shutdown, the longest shutdown in American history, is that Donald Trump made the stunning claim that in his mind, he holds two titles, that he has two positions. Donald Trump says that he's both the president and the Speaker of the House. That's what Donald Trump said in the midst of him shutting down the government.
When did he say
And what
that?
we've seen from compliant, sycophantic Republicans, corrupt House Republicans, is they continue to go along to get along. They don't function like a separate and co-equal branch of government. From the very beginning of this presidency and all the way through this Trump shutdown, Republicans in the House have continued to act like a wholly owned subsidiary of the corrupt Trump cartel. That may be the House Republican position. For damn sure, it ain't the House Democratic position. Because we know, and what we say to the American people is that we don't work for Donald Trump. We don't work for J.D. Vance. We don't work for your billionaire donors. We work for the American people. And that's what this fight by House Democrats, joined by our colleagues on the other side of the Capitol, has
The
been
Epstein shutdown?
all about. We work for the American people. As we stand on the Capitol steps, ready to continue this battle on the House floor, a battle that we waged week after week after week, and that will continue regardless of the outcome. We say to the American people that we know you deserve better. You deserve much better than the chaos, the cruelty, and the corruption that you've seen. And so as House Democrats, we're going to continue this fight to lower the high cost of living in a country where America is far too expensive, far too many people struggling to live paycheck to paycheck, can't thrive, and can barely survive. That should not be the case in the United States of America.
Can't thrive and barely.
Country in the history of the world.
Nice.
And so as Democrats, we're committed to addressing this affordability crisis. That's what this fight has been all about. And we'll continue to work hard to lower the high cost of living. We'll continue the fight to fix our broken healthcare system. And we'll continue to fight to stand up for Medicaid. We'll continue to fight to stand up for Medicare. We'll continue the fight to stand up for the Affordable Care Act and an extension of the tax credits. We'll continue to fight for your hospitals. We'll continue to fight for your nursing homes. We'll continue to fight for your community-based health clinics, and we'll continue to fight for the principle that in this great country, the wealthiest country in the history of the world, healthcare can't simply be a privilege available only to the wealthy, the well-off, and the well-connected. Healthcare must be a right available to every single American. And that's the fight that House Democrats will continue to wage for the American people. It's now my great honor to yield to a freshman leadership representative, someone who's gotten off to a great start, helping to lead the freshman class, the first term.
I wish I could believe what he's saying.
Tumultuous period here in the United States Congress and for the country. From the great state of California, the Honorable Luz Rivas.
Thank you, Leader Jeffries, Whip Clark, and Chair Aguilar for your leadership. House Democrats are back in Washington, D.C., ready to vote once again to protect health care for working families across the country. Recently, I spoke with Speaker Johnson directly in the Capitol and hand-delivered stories from my and my fellow freshman colleagues' constituents who have been impacted by the Republican shutdown. This includes the story of Stephen Heller, a constituent from Van Nuys, which is in my district. Stephen and his wife are independent contractors who have to pay for their own health insurance. Because Republicans let the ACA tax credits expire, Stephen and his wife are facing a monthly health care premium increase of $1,000 per month.
Damn. And the Senate let them down.
This will bring their monthly total to nearly $2,100 per month and nearly $25,000 for the year, just in health insurance.
You know what? I would, no, okay, so they're telling a personal story. Do you know what this would mean more to me if Hakeem Jeffries went at Schumer and said, this is also the Senate Democrats? Then I would be like, okay. But the fact that that hasn't happened.
And continue to fight with House Democrats to protect the ACA subsidies that Stephen and millions of Americans rely on. House Democrats will continue our fight to protect health care, lower the cost of living, and keep the American dream attainable for all. Thank you. And next.
The GOP weren't going to budge. They would if the government stayed shut down. It would have hurt. People would have hurt for sure. Trump is okay with it. MAGA's fine with it. You got a little pain, right? Go when tariffs hit, little pain.
Very much. I come from mid-Michigan.
The government shutdown was hurting the Republicans more than anything.
The American dream, to work hard enough to pay your bills, put a little bit away, and take your kids on vacation every once in a while. But the dream is further and further out of reach. In my district, 70% of our jobs pay less than $60,000 a year. So this healthcare crisis that Republicans have created, $1 trillion in Medicaid cuts and gutting the ACA in order to pay for the tax break for the ultra wealthy, is making things so much harder. So let me give you an example. A couple in my district, they actually go to my church, called and told me they're in their 60s and they rely on the ACA tax credits to pay their insurance premiums.
You said no, they wouldn't?
Because the Republicans have failed to extend these credits.
Because the government was shut down and the right wing was infighting and the blame was on the Republicans. Like the government shut down. It's a Republican blame for it.
Health insurance already consumes 72%
You took that away.
of their retirement income. Let me say that again. 72% of their retirement income, and is about to go up another $11,000. That means they're facing devastating choices between doctor's visits and paying the mortgage, between cancer screenings and putting food on the table, between prescription drugs and heating their home, or even, frankly, to get insurance at all. They told me, and this is a direct quote, they are strongly considering going without coverage and taking their chances rather than continuing to pay the premium. Because here's the reality. They actually can't pay that premium. I came to Congress, we all came to Congress to help people like them. Lower cost, better care, more jobs. One easy critical step is simply passing to extend the ACA credits. Yes. It is time we pass it before they pay the cost. Thank you. It is my pleasure to introduce my colleague from California, Representative Tran.
That's another thing Biden should have done when he had full control of the government themselves for a little bit.
I am Congressman Derek Tran, and I proudly represent Orange and LA counties in California's 45th district. Today, I want to share the story of Peter and Esther. Peter and Esther are retired and living in Orange County, California. They're on a limited income, and their health insurance costs are overwhelming. They pay over $18,000 every year just in health care premiums. And next year, their costs are going up.
You said historically shutdowns. The last shutdown was Trump, and it hurt him to hammer. What do you mean, dude? The last shutdown was during the last Trump administration.
Devastating. Peter has been trying to get his
It just
wife
beat his last record.
Medicaid so she can get the care she deserves.
What do you go to?
But he keeps hitting.
Stop watching centrist Dems, libs.
The red tape, long lines, and staffing shortages preventing Esther from even being considered for Medicaid coverage is harmful to our country. And instead of joining us to fix this
I think
crisis,
you're wrong. I don't know.
Republican majority
I think you're completely wrong.
has demanded more cuts, causing more pain and suffering for the American people. I am here today for people like Peter and Esther.
The hammer. I don't know what you mean. I was MAGA. I was supported Trump in the first term, and the shutdown and the actions contributed to me falling off of supporting Trump during that time. I don't know what data you're going to. I'm speaking from experience. It could just be me personally, but it was like it contributed to Trump's ineptitude, and the shutdown from the first term was like led to also the House Republicans taking power. Like it led to me being like, oh, Trump can't lead, and that's what Republicans were feeling in this shutdown.
Woman Sarah McBride from the great state of Delaware.
Thank you so much, Representative. Thank you so much, Leader Jeffries, Whip Clark, and Chair Aguilar for bringing us together today. We stand here today, 42
They had a great Gatsby party during the shutdown. Everyone was seeing that. MAGA infighting is at all-time high because of the actions of the administration and Israel.
addressing this healthcare crisis. There is simply no reason why we can't do both. The only thing that has been standing in our way is Republican cruelty.
And Senate Democrats, 8 of them.
Chicken with food assistance, travel safety, and federal paychecks, all because they will stop at nothing to cut your health care. The only thing that congressional Republicans are more loyal to than Donald Trump is to cutting the health care of the American people. Let's be clear. This healthcare crisis is a choice by congressional Republicans and Donald Trump, who have inserted a $1 trillion bomb into the American healthcare system. And it is starting to go off. Millions right now are facing skyrocketing premiums. The largest cut to Medicaid in American history is on the horizon. Rural hospitals will close.
Oh no, it should have gone through the holidays.
Donald Trump loves to own
The
things.
shutdown should have went all the way through the holidays.
Well, he now owns the American healthcare system. It is Trump care.
Big disruption.
Millions losing coverage, that's Trump care. Americans paying more for insurance,
Thanksgiving, Christmas, travel, all that. Yep.
and take more time off work, that is Trump care. Donald Trump and congressional Republicans have raided your health care and used that money as a piggy bank to reward their donors with massive tax breaks. Cruelty is the currency of his corruption, because Donald Trump only cares about himself, his ballroom, and his billionaire buddies. And
True. The thing is, Republicans would never cave. They already were. Like, you guys don't. I am connected to right-wing circles still, unfortunately. I know how it is. Okay, I am telling you, shit is fucked in right-wing world right now. And a lot of people that voted Trump are on Snap. So you like People that are on SNAP are not left wing. I wish it worked that way. It doesn't. It's like propaganda. You think that because the Democrats fight for people that are on SNAP and are on benefits, but the majority of people that are on that shit are like not Democrat or liberal at all. They're MAGA. They're just lied to in their own right-wing propaganda, and they're fucking down bad, but they're MAGA, and yet they're on benefits but blame immigrants for their issues. They were falling off.
Fighting to keep health care affordable for millions of Americans, while our House Republican colleagues were on a taxpayer-funded vacation. During this shutdown, the realities hit home for a lot of people. Mothers had to worry about how they would take care of their children, their babies without WIC. Families stood in pantry lines. Families are still standing in food pantry lines. In the month of November, the month of Thanksgiving, because SNAP benefits were expired, and this administration chose to use them as pawns in this game. Capitol Police officers, members of the military, my staff, all of our staff, and millions of other federal workers had to deal with the uncertainty and the stresses of missing paychecks. And for what in the end?
Nothing.
What were Republicans willing to give in the end? Nothing more than a handshake deal to take a future vote.
It's nothing.
On extending the health care subsidies.
Dumb shit.
We all know that future vote is the equivalent of asking two wolves and a chicken.
Exactly.
To vote on what's for dinner.
Thank you.
It is dead on arrival.
There's going to be no ACA nothing. So I'm only going to be proved right in the near future.
Now, I can speak to you as someone from a different perspective.
And House Democrats get it too.
Talk about what could happen.
And
what
Senate too.
Let me tell you about
some
what my district looks like in the state of Alabama.
Most.
And it doesn't look too dissimilar.
Only 8 of them.
Fellow colleague from Alabama.
I don't even know why we're even having the argument. Like, I don't even know why it's a debate.
I got about 50,000 people.
Only 8 Democrats went with the Republicans. There should be no debate about like, oh, well, this was a strategically smart thing. No, it wasn't.
In a district where the individual
it just wasn't.
median income is just north of $32,000. I have 13 counties in my district. 10 of them either do not have a hospital because it has recently closed, or their hospital is on literal life support and they have to go to a county commission or a city council every single month to make payroll. And the largest hospital in Montgomery, Alabama, the state's capital, is in the midst of a bankruptcy and also facing risk of closure. And this all in a state that has the 3rd lowest life expectancy in the United States of America. So healthcare for us is not a talking point. Healthcare for us is, protecting healthcare for us is a requisite. It's
exactly, Sator. Thank you, voice of reason, Sator. Please help.
If you ask us if the shutdown was worth it, I say, hell yes, it was worth it. Because fighting to maintain healthcare for American people, there's nothing more pure than that.
This guy.
There's no more important role that we have here as members of Congress than to ensure the health care of the American people.
Literally. So that's why it's valid to be mad at the 8 Democrats
so while the failure of Republicans to do anything to protect health care
that voted with the Republicans to stop this fight.
I want the world to know that my Democratic colleagues here in the House, they can ride with me in any battle I face in my life. They stood with us under the leadership of Hakeem Jeffries to make sure that we kept this front and center. And I look forward to remaining committed to this fight for all of Alabama and for all of America. And with that,
from Alabama too?
Leader, future Speaker Jeffries.
Yes. Alabama representative, okay. There's hope for Alabama.
I want to thank all of our distinguished
shout out to my real tide
who spoke so powerfully and eloquently about the nature of this fight.
I don't have anything problem with Alabama at all, just a couple losers down there.
On behalf of the American people. And these are first-term members of Congress. But they recognize that as Democrats, we stand on the shoulders of many who, decade after decade, century into century, have always fought to make life better for everyday Americans and to protect the health care and enhance the health care of the American people. That's the continuing and enduring legacy of the Democratic Party. FDR fought for it. Truman fought for it. JFK fought for it. LBJ
Who's that now?
fought for it. Carter
Okay.
fought for it. Clinton fought for it. Barack Obama fought for it. Biden fought for it. And no one fought harder in the House of Representatives than our Speaker Emerita, Nancy D'Alessandro Pelosi. That's in the DNA of the Democratic Party.
Man, FDR to Nancy Pelosi's a crazy.
So these first term,
I don't know.
And so our promise
I don't know
to the American
about-
people is that we are in this fight until we win this fight for all of you. Cancel the cuts, lower the costs, save healthcare. God bless you. God bless the United States of America.
Okay. Well. All right. Well, there's the House Democrats have been unified in terms of not reopening the government until there's a deal to extend the ACA subsidies, which the Republicans are trying to destroy completely. Okay. They're trying to get rid of Obamacare and ACA, which a lot of Republicans are on. A lot of MAGA are on that. But because it's called ACA, they're like, oh, okay, that's fine. Affordable health care. Oh, okay. But when they hear it on Fox News, it's called Obamacare and that bad. So you probably have a lot of MAGA that are on it that hate it because they heard it's called Obamacare and they're like, well, I hate the thing I'm on. I just got to work to get off of it. That's the mindset. Is like they'll be on the thing that they hate, but they're just using it temporarily. And like everyone is, like no one wants to be on that shit permanently. But like they are aware of their position, but will also still push the propaganda about it. And that's the facts of MAGA and the MAGA mind. Is they'll be on the shit, receiving the benefits, and hating themselves and still pushing propaganda about the thing that they're on. So that does happen more often than not, but a lot of MAGA are on the affordable health care. But yeah, it's completely valid to be mad at the Senate Democrats for what they did. And the leadership of the weakness of Chuck Schumer in the Senate. It's insane. Like this is the fight you need to have. And anyone that's like arguing that it was not a good thing that the Democrats were fighting is just wrong. Yeah, they're just simply wrong. Jeffrey Epstein would like photos of. Whoa! Wait, what is this? Is this more from the emails? Thomas Landon, Jr. Landon, from Jeffrey Epstein to Thomas Landon. I'm serious, man, for the good of the nation. Why not try to get some of this out there? I would do it myself, but I would pass on to a political reporter. BuzzFeed. Plus, look at these lies. In response to a message left seeking the Trump campaign's comment on the article, on Thursday, Trump's general counsel Alan Garten emailed threatening legal action against BuzzFeed News. Mr. Trump's only connection with Mr. Epstein was that Mr. Epstein was one of thousands of people who had visited Mar-a-Lago. That's it. Mr. Trump has never been accused of having any involvement or even having any knowledge of any of Mr. Epstein's conduct by anyone. As a result, I have no idea. Thank you for subscribing. What the purpose of your article could possibly be other than to try to intentionally harm Kay. Name a reputation by mentioning him in the same article as Epstein. In other words, suggest guilt by association. BuzzFeed, blah, 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 blah. On Tuesday, December 8th, 2015. Lauren Petrella, Hawaiian Tropic Girl. Yeah. Oh, yes. Would you like photo of Donald and girls in bikinis in my kitchen? Landon wrote, now everyone is coming to me thinking I have juicy info on you and Trump because of this. I've known Jeff for 15 years, terrific guy. Trump booms from a speakerphone. He's a lot of fun to be with. It has even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do. Many of them are on the younger side, which is still a quote everyone knows, but MAGA makes excuses. Would you like a photo of Donald and girls in bikinis? Okay. From Landon, Thomas Landon Jr. to Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, no, not connected. Dang. Trump called Boebert regarding her signing on to the Epstein petition, which is also happening today in the House. Trump playing phone tag with Nancy Mace. So far, they are not planning to remove their names from the petition. Trump's call to Boebert was a very early wake-up call. Once a petition is locked at 218 votes, which it is scheduled to be later today, when Gravella is sworn in, it cannot be unlocked. In other words, Trump would have to convince someone to get off before the swearing in. Jesus. Trying to work to stop the swearing in and release of the files here. I think that's what Thomas Massie is working on still. And Ro Khanna. Today we will have, 5 hours ago, today we will have the 218th vote for the Epstein discharge petition. Here's how the legislation is likely to proceed over the next few weeks, with a debate and floor vote occurring just after the Thanksgiving break. Here's how the House battle over the Epstein files will play out. The long-delayed swearing in of heirs, they were delaying her swearing in because then it would release them. And Trump purposely and the administration purposely have been trying to stop it from happening. The months-long bipartisan effort to sidestep Speaker Mike Johnson and force the release of all Justice Department files and the late sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein is kicking into high gear this week, setting up a December floor battle that the President Donald Trump has sought to avoid. The cascade of action was jump-started Wednesday morning when Democrats in the House Oversight Committee released fresh emails, which we have and we've looked through, where Epstein told a journalist that Trump knew about the girls, that Epstein was trafficking. Trump denied any wrongdoing, but the explosive new revelations stand to turbocharge public interest in releasing the files, obviously. The process of doing so will begin around 4 p.m., when Johnson swears in Representative-elect Adelita Gravella right before the House votes to end the government shutdown, ending a 50-day wait following the Arizona Democrats' election. Shortly afterward, Gravella says she will affix the 218th and final signature to the discharge petition led by Representatives Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna to force a vote on the full release of the Epstein files. That in itself will be the culmination of months of drama that blew up into a full crisis for Johnson this summer, with a GOP mutiny grinding the floor to a halt and forcing leaders to send the House home early for August recess. The uproar over a possible Epstein cover-up faded but never disappeared entirely. Obviously. So we don't need... Okay, so that's gonna happen. That'll be exciting. That'll be something exciting. What's Ro Khanna posted about it? The only reason these emails are out is Lawrence had the survivors' lawyers on, who gave me the tip to subpoena the estate. Why did the Justice or the FBI not get and release these? Crazy work. Well, you have to bring up China fentanyl. Yep, that'll do it. China fentanyl. Biden. Are we back in session yet, or what's going on? I think are they still on recess? Obama. There you go. Okay. They're in recess. Obama. It's crazy how out of breath she was after all that. It was wild. So you got again Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie in the House that are spearheading this, which is just bipartisan as hell. Obviously, Massie's. I don't know if he's MAGA anymore though. He's fallen off. Him and Trump had like a beef together. He still pushes policies and stuff that are MAGA aligned, but Ro Khanna or Thomas Massie's kind of trying to do his own thing, which kind of always has. He's right wing as hell, but he's going against the grain at least within MAGA, whatever. It's crazy how they're using the coerced Virginia Guffey as like the cope to get out of this. Was the victim. Crazy. I'm so sick of the fake news focusing on Trump and not Epstein victims. That's how you do it. Everyone knows Trump kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago and Epstein victims have exonerated the president. Stop gaslighting and start telling the victim stories. It makes me sick. Wow. Tell that story. Don't do the one that was engaged. Only the people that were on the receiving end of the abuse, not the ones doing it. Not the ones that did it. Just tell the stories of MAGA. Like, how long ago was this? With their hats? They were literally given merch and hats and told in a binder and were told to go fuck off and go be useful idiots. The libs of TikTok, Rogan O'Hanley and a blonde. I still don't remember what her name is. Is that the Right Side Rebel? It's the Right Side Rebel, y'all. Crazy. Crazy work being had here. Here you had Mike Johnson this morning speaking about the government shutdown.
Just wanted to come out and say,
why is this like this? Why is X like this now? There you go. Jesus. Wait. There.
Just wanted to come out and say that we believe the long national nightmare will be over tonight. It was completely and utterly foolish and pointless in the end, as we said all along. I just want to apologize to any Americans who are out there who still have flight cancellations or delays today. I want to apologize to the many American families who were made to go hungry over the last several weeks, our troops and other federal employees who are wondering where their next paycheck would come from. All of that's on the Democrats. Just never forget, they voted 15 times between the House and the Senate to close your government. And the Republicans tried every single day of the shutdown to open it. And we voted 15 times to do that. They have a lot to answer for. And I just want to say that we're very optimistic about the vote tally tonight. We think this is going to happen, and we're sorry that it took this long. So Republicans are going to deliver for the people. We're ready to get back to our legislative agenda. We have a very aggressive calendar for the remainder of this year.
They've done nothing at all.
There'll be some long days and nights here, some long working weeks, but we will get this thing back on track. So thank y'all. Stay tuned for more tonight.
That big, beautiful bill did nothing for any working class American. Not a single thing. Tax on tips is also a hoax. The no tax, it's no tax on tips that you have to claim. So you have to put it on your taxes. So it's like so a lot of people that receive tips don't do that because then the government takes it, right? Because you pay it. And so you have to do that to then it's so stupid. That's their no tax on tips policy though. Is only tips that are claimed. And no cash tips or anything like that. It's got to be the tips you receive directly through the employer or your tips that you get directly through. GOP just dropped thousands of Epstein docs. Whoa, where? No, hold on. 23,000. New York Times. This morning? What do you mean? What are you guys talking? What are you guys referring to? The House they released the all redacted? Where? Who released what? Three minutes ago? Trump, Democrats are using the Epstein hoax to try and deflect from their massive failures. Jesus. Democrats are using the Jeffrey Epstein hoax to try to deflect from their massive failures. Don't think I'm logged in. Shoot. Link to thousands of files. You can only accept tips now. Is there a new I'm so confused. Is it more than what we've looked at already? You talk about the Democratic. Yeah, we've looked at it. The three emails. Or there's tens of thousands more. Let me pull it up. Republicans released thousands of Epstein files after Democrat disclosed emails. What the heck? House Republicans on Wednesday released 23,000 pages of documents from the estate of Jeffrey Epstein after months of delays. The move came shortly after Democrats disclosed emails. The documents were obtained by the chairman of the House Oversight Committee, James Comer, through subpoena in August. They were published online 2 hours after the House Democrats released an email from Mr. Epstein in which he wrote that Mr. Epstein spent hours at my house with one of Mr. Epstein's victims. It was not immediately clear what other disclosures the release would include. The Times reviewing the documents will provide updates, but the emails between Epstein and friends and associates were laced with unflattering, at times mocking references to Mr. Trump. In 2018, for example, Mr. Epstein described Mr. Trump as borderline insane in an email exchanged with Lawrence H. Summers. Oh. So this is going to be 20,000 emails of like just shit talking, because these people that are like elite, they all shit talk each other behind each other's back. So it's going to be like 20,000 emails of nothing, of like just, and then that's supposed to be like, well, see, look at Epstein didn't even like Trump. Epstein and Trump didn't even like each other. They weren't even cool. Look. Gotta be. Okay. Well, where do we see the 20,000 emails? I'd like to like see what at least one of them look like. It's to drown you out of the important ones. I bet you within that, I bet you it's got to be maybe the Democrats grab the most important pages out of that. Okay. Well, I don't see anything from James Comer. New ChatGPT update today. 5.1. Okay. Yeah, I've not really seen anyone posting about it. I'm looking at my following feed of people that would post about big things happening, and it's not even on my thing yet. Today's claims by oversight Dems are nothing more than an attempt to slander a sitting president simply because they disagree with his policies. Oh boy. That's the cope? What policies? And yeah, they fucking whatever that the actions of the government suck, but that doesn't distract from the fact that you're covering up the Epstein files. Don't see not a soul talking about the release of. Nope, Root Bar is going to Stevie Nicks. Well, I'll take it from here. Don't worry, I'm not going. Shit's getting weird, folks. I just retweeted Kevin Sorbo. No one's talking about the release of the 23,000 pages. Maybe because it's the House oversight and they suck ass, and so you got to have journalists go through the bullshit that they released, and then we got to figure out if there's anything that's important. Maybe that's how it's going to work here. Not a single thing that the House GOP puts up is worth a damn, ever. And then their investigations are using Chinese and Russian agents lying about everything. That's like how GOP oversight investigations go. Just a bunch of nothing every time. Still waiting for the House is still in recess, subject to the call of the chair. So everyone's still waiting for anything from the government to reopen, or the vote in the House for that to take place. You don't see anything on YouTube? Go look at Jim Acosta for what? Yeah, they're probably sifting through it. Is it on the? It's on the House website. No. You posted a link in the Discord chat. Pull it up here in Discord discussion. Oversight Committee releases additional emails. Oh boy. It's in a Google Drive file. Fuck me. I gotta download it. What is this? Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, this is what the GOP released. Stephen Hawking photographed in March 2006 aboard an Atlantis submarine that was custom fitted by Epstein to accommodate his wheelchair. Is this the Colonel in Metal Gear Solid 2 breaking down? What are we looking at? I don't see that it adds to the okay, he swiped his the elevator button and arrived in Indian area that what? How do you even read this? My brain hurts. He swiped the elevator. What? What are we reading? What is this? This is like a fucking code or something. What is going on? I served his sentence, photograph here in 2006. Epstein pleaded guilty to state solicitation charges and served 13 months of an 18-month sentence with liberal work release privileges and a solitary. Why is like this not making sense in some places at all? What is this? What is that? Is this the fucking... What is happening? This looks like when Arnold Schwarzenegger powered up in Terminator. This is the text you see when he's like powering up. Chapter 39, whatever that is. Todd Meister, June 2015. Harry Cipriani on Fifth Avenue is a New York institution. The restaurant began its life as an American outpost of Harry's Bar, which was itself a famous American outpost in Venice, located inside the Sherry Netherland Hotel. It's a themed restaurant, the theme being money. And today, a hedge fund manager named Todd Meister is talking about a very wealthy man, Jeffrey Epstein, whom he knows through his father, Epstein's sometime friend, Bob Meister. I've known Jeffrey since I was 19, Meister says. So let me tell you what I know, whatever everyone knows and everyone else says. First off, he's no billionaire. Not mine. Second off, and here's why, he has no clue how to invest. Skill issue. He has people do that for him. Yeah, he's not a real billionaire. Meister knows how to invest. He does it for other people and the son of a super rich father for himself. He also knows about the 15371 dash James Patterson. Good life. Parties in Vegas, weekends in the Hamptons, affairs with beautiful women that end up getting splashed all over the tabloids. It makes sense that once upon a time he and Epstein would have gotten along. As for the girls, Meister says, that was just business. He'd seat them strategically at client dinners. When he went to the movies, he'd take 3 or 4 girls with him. They'd take turns massaging his back, arms, and legs. According to Meister, Epstein used to boast that he liked to go into insane asylums because he liked to fuck crazy women. Who knows if it's true, Meister adds, but I'm telling you, he used to say it. From time to time, Epstein's friends and acquaintances would see sides of Epstein that he'd grown much less shy about sharing. Epstein encouraged Alan Dershowitz to invest with a prominent hedge fund manager named Orrin Kramer. Dershowitz did, and he made a lot of money at first. But in 2008, the fund Dershowitz had invested in lost a substantial amount. Afterward, according to a former associate of Epstein's, Epstein appeared in Kramer's Midtown Manhattan office. Truth be told, their sources say he told Kramer it's very much in your interest to make Alan Dershowitz whole. Epstein's intervention worked and Dershowitz recovered his money. To people who'd known Epstein back in the 1980s, this kind of behavior was out of character. But the thing about Epstein was that you could never figure him out. 1 minute he was charming, 154, filth, the most charming man you'd threat, and bluster. Something-y numbers, this many parties, T, connection to Victoria's Secret, throwing in the modeling, ag, you plug in the parties, the SCE, but the thing is, eyes wide, Epstein, getting on that plan, moment in caddy, I'm like the Colonel breaking down now. The sea out of his hole in the Gulf, Epstein was like the mole in a matter of time before he'd be asked to yourself are the people alas? Or are their morals like, is this what English sounds like to people that don't speak English? This is what English sounds like to non-English speakers. Eyes wide shut world? Todd Meister, who was Mary Harris, Samantha Boardman, editorial director James Turloud. How does yuts like Epstein at Harry Cipriani, the Questerson in Hamptons, affairs with things splashed all over the tabloids. And it's In a time he and Epstein would, that's just business. He'd dinners when he went to the IRLs with him. They take turns and used to boast that he liked to fuck crazy women. Wait, isn't that just a segment from the previous section? What is this, yo? Ain't no fucking way, Republicans. Ain't no way. This is literally just a mix-match copy of what is here. Of like, where is this from? And then you take that and then like fucking whatever. Do they just like have it spam so that way they could fit 20,000 pages of just nonsense? What are we looking at? And then you can't even read it because it doesn't even make sense. Obviously, I just tried. Apparently there's 20,000 pages of this. There you go. 20,000 pages of fuck all. You know, it's just let me just go like this. Let me just random scroll, then we'll pick a page. Here we go. How do I do it? Let me click there. Okay, random scroll. This one. What does this one say? What followed was Kennedy Smith. The prosecutors presented Epstein a choice: plead to more serious state felony charges that would result in 2 years imprisonment, registration as a sex offender, and restitution for the victims, or else prepare for a felony federal trial. What followed was a year-long assault on the prosecution and the prosecutors. I use the word assault intentionally, as the defense in this case was more aggressive than any, which is from James Patterson, apparently. I don't know. I've just picked a random spot. Mr. Epstein hired an army of legal superstars. Harvard professor Alan Dershowitz, former judge and then Pepperdine Law Dean Kenneth Starr, former deputy assistant to the president, and then Kirkland and Ellis partner Jay Lefkowitz, and several others, including prosecutors who had formerly worked in the U.S. Attorney's Office and in the Child Exploitation and Obscenity section of the Justice Department. Defense attorneys next requested a meeting with me to challenge the prosecution and the terms previously presented by the prosecutors in their meeting with Mr. Black. The prosecution team and I met with the defense counsel in fall 2007, and I reaffirmed the office's position: 2 years, registration and restitution, or trial. Over the next several months, the defense team presented argument after argument, claiming that the felony criminal proceedings against Epstein were unsupported by the evidence and lack of basis in law, and that the officer's insistence on jail time was motivated by a zeal to overcharge a man merely because he is wealthy. They bolstered their arguments with legal opinions from 208. Well-known legal expert team warned me that the THC good man to serve time book, if we continued TC office systematically comment, and when we appealed to Washington, the defense strategy defense counsel investigation, their families looking for provide a basis for executor is ineffective, eliminating the individual and thus most qualified to livelihood of for success. Defense leads two prosecutors. I rejected these arguments despite the army of Australia. The first presented meeting on June 30th, 2008, appeal to Washington, probably DC, maybe, guilty in state court. He, I don't know what that word is. Ointment, register as sexual restitution to the victim. Some may feel that tougher. Evidence that encouraged that view, man out, fitting detailed statement messages. Did you know this is probably like just cut off and like, I don't even know, because how do you even discern this? How do you even look at this and be like, yeah, I can get something out of this? Literally a bunch of fucking nothing. The AI, the Epstein AI. Is this a Chat GPT files? Even then, I think Chat GPT could do better. Let's get this thing. Hold on. Let's see if ChatGPT can make sense of this. All right. let's give this to AI and see if AI can. Oh my god, it's so much. This is just what. Oh, this is the whole thing. Nice. Okay, what the fuck is this even saying? The House GOP dropped this today. Let's see if I can. Let's see if ChatGPT. Oh boy, what do you mean it's too long? What do you mean? ChatGPT didn't even want to even try. It was like, nah, actually. I've never heard it. I've never seen that before. I mean, how do you do it? Okay, should I just pick a section then? Make sense of this. Magic Conch. It's how many pages is this? This is just like one section. Look at this. That's just one section of this bullshit. Let's find another one here. Blah 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 blah. This one. Then you got, okay, this one's smaller. Okay, let's give this one to AI. See what AI can discern here. Of this one. Subject, Trump and Patricia Klug. It's a high importance. Trump in talks to buy socialite Klug's Charlottesville vineyard. Wow. Okay. Those include 200 acres of land to the, okay, Arnold Palmer. What is this saying? Let's see what AI can take from it. See what it says. See if there's relevance in there. Trump's vineyard? What I thought Martha had a vineyard. Now Trump has a vineyard? This is nothing, but we'll see. Come on, ChatGPT. I know it's tough. I know it's hard. Thinking. It's still thinking. So the sale of a vineyard to Trump. Nice. Trump organization working with. Okay. Have you got it yet? Nope. I'm better. Okay, let's do another one. Let's pick another one. And this one. Random. Nikkei to 20,000 and inventory cycle upturn, cyclicals, inflation, banks, insurance. Invest strategy 18 November 2016. Wow, this is hard hitting shit here. Wow. What in the fuck is, yo, what is this? Japan's self-defense forces? What is this? Fundamental equity. Merrill Lynch shit. Bofa, Merrill. ChatGPT. It broke ChatGPT. Never seen this. I've never seen it. It's broken. It literally doesn't even know what to do. It's like, yep, I don't know. Wow. Well, even the AI doesn't even want to take this information. Incredible amounts of information here. What else we got? Epstein. How is this related to the Epstein estate documents? Next. Here, we'll pick another random one. Let's pick the right side. Oh, there's even more. Here you go. Go right side. We'll go over here this time. We've been going on the left. Wow. Actual code. That looks like addresses, or no? These are these crypto wallets? I don't know. These look like addresses. Image files. Share it from where I was reading it. Oh, you want me to share it to you guys? There's many though. It's like that. I've just clicked one. Like, look at how many there are. There's a fuckload of these. It's like the whole drive. You got to have the whole drive. They're in a Google Drive folder. Look at this. Just endless amounts of this. Here's another one. Let's pick this one. Yo, my chat GPT is broken. What's going on? Chat GPT, what's wrong? Maybe it's because the update's rolling out, so it's like it's like broken today. That's fine. So I can't even feed it into my AI to try to help with this. It's just a bunch of, it's just abundance of nonsense information to have journalists go through this right now, to distract from the actual like emails that were relevant. Here are the questions I'd like to ask Jeffrey Epstein. Would it be available to answer any of these on the phone or by email? People have told me some of his thoughts on the background, but I wanted to see if he could tell me or email me anything directly I could use on the record. Also, I'd like him to run the information I already have by you or him. What is he chiefly focusing on now? Is he spending more time on the Jeffrey Epstein Science Foundation? Could he talk about the entrance in science in the 2011 Grants Conference? How has his business been affected? Is there any new direction he's taking it? Does he still have the same clients or new ones? Is it still at 15 billion? Wow, incredible. Is he still close with Ghislaine Maxwell? What were his friends, colleagues, acquaintances like? This is his conviction? Is he still continuing charity initiatives he started with Bill Clinton, etc.? I understand you have some questions about my client, Jeffrey Epstein. Given that much of the press coverage surrounding Mr. Epstein has been inaccurate and in some instances defamatory, I'd like to suggest that you send me any factual questions that I can provide you with accurate responses. Okay, this is leading up to 2011. A bunch of nothing. Oh my god, dude. What about this one? What's this one for? Jeffrey Epstein's philanthropy. Incredible. Download anything LLM and remind me that later, technical fool. When we're on gaming. Come to the gaming stream later and remind me. But yeah, I do have a good GPU. Got a 4090. So is that something that could help me go through a lot of this information faster? The DEI files. Yeah. Chad, I mean, you guys are seeing what I'm seeing, right? What is this? What is this? Is this English? Oh shit, just download them. I figured your browser would share it. But my chat GPT is broken right now. It's like not wanting to work. It's just displaying this due to poor reformat. Why this is what, so is there a different format to read this in? This is the link that I got from the house page. Don't hack myself. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to hack myself. The House committee oversight linked to Google Drive. Save the text file. Should I open up and attach the text file into ChatGPT? What? You said yes, save as a text file? I don't have that. Try one page. It's on. I'm confused. I have it on. It's only one page. Gemini or Grok. Okay, here it is in the text file. Oh, I mean, okay, so when you see it's just share, share, share. So okay, so this is probably the real way to read it then, huh? So these are image files. Okay. Download the file yourselves. No, I'm not saying like there's something more like these. Oh, I guess it's not. Never mind. If I'm doing something now, hit plus in ChatGPT. Wait. Now save it. Copy and paste that into ChatGPT. Okay. It said it was too much though, or is there like a better way to do it? My brain hurts. It's okay. We'll figure this out together. I mean, it's not like we're missing the government or anything yet, so we might as well get this figured out. How do I get the drive? Put a link in Discord. Oh yeah, save it and then attach to ChatGPT. Oh, duh. Okay, are you working yet? There you go. Add the DEI files. There we go. We're smart now. We do smart stuff. What does this say? There we go. Can AI even read? Oh, yeah. There we go. Okay, so it's a BuzzFeed news report. Nice. Okay, BuzzFeed news article. Why would that be anything relevant? I mean, okay, so you just do that one by one with this then, huh? How do I access the house? Okay, I got you. Where did I get the oh, it's Discord. Join the Discord, like Nandas has posted it a couple times. I'll post it in the chat here. Hold on. Oh, what is that? What was that, Nandas? Where did you post it now? You just had it. There it is. Okay, I'll put the link in the chat here. Download your copy before they take it down. I got it. Here's the GOP. No, the pedophile. They can't even call them the pedophile files because like there's nothing in there. So the nothing files. The empty files. Here, GOP slop files. Here you go. You can put them into your chat GPTs and help do. Yeah, it'll take you. You go ahead though. Have at it. We're gonna be reacting to the government, but if you can find anything valuable in this, I would be interested. Because so far, just picking random shit. Here, let's go back to the ones you were reading earlier. Now that I did it right. Let's go back up here. Let's go here. Okay. Okay, let's save that. Okay, bang. Let's feed it to the AI. Yes, feed it to our AI overlords. Feed it to the machine. Oh, okay. Okay, now this one. This is the first one you read. Wow. Appears to be an excerpt or a scan reproduction from a book or investigative feature titled The Powerful Billionaire, the Sex Scandal That Undid Him and All the Justice That Money Can Buy. That's a long-ass fucking title of a book. Wait, so they're pulling a bunch of nothing. Okay, book confirmed. Book exists. The text reads like an illustrated timeline. Or wait, okay, so it's a photo-heavy biographical section that visually documents Epstein's social connections, residencies, and criminal history through captions and photo descriptions. The text reads like an illustrated timeline or visual appendix to an Epstein expose. It details his homes, associates, legal troubles, and high-profile connections using a mix of investigative commentary and photo captions. Okay, it has his residencies in it. So that's the weird text that that looked weird in the file here, in the Google file. That's what it was showing. Legal and investigative notes, references to affidavits from the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Florida. Okay. Mentions of Palm Beach detectives who led the investigation. The tone is dark. Okay. Okay. It was designed to illustrate the scale of Epstein's influence. Okay. We all know that's not new information or something that we need to like, oh God, Epstein was bad. Unlike the first file, which was an email. Okay, I'm just I gotta tell ChatGPT what happened. No, where's the house website? There you go. What you get? The more you inform the AI, the better. So this is part of a 23K plus drop of So here's the overall, got to give it more context. Yep, 20,000, there it is. Additional to what had previously been released. I can dig into the index or content of that dump. Can you really though? Without the file? That would be sick if it could just like scan the whole thing itself. Yeah, exactly. No. Yeah. But you can't do shit without me giving it to you though. Yeah, I have to give it. Yeah, so just, you can't shut up. AI. Kidding. You gotta talk to it. So yeah, you can't just be like you can't just drop the link to the oversight page and like expect it to go through it. You have to drop every single thing into it. What's this one? Here, I'll just drop a few of them. I will drop the files one by one and give the okay, bang, bang. Okay, so here's another one. There's just too many and we've already kind of seen it's bullshit. It's another excerpt from the book. Another excerpt from the book. Okay. Nothing new. You're like getting recycled information, but like through books. Okay. So more from the book and things people already know. Okay. Okay. Why is this even relevant? Next one. Is this relevant? Do you guys think any of this shit's relevant? A civil claim against Jeff Epstein for the sexual abuse of a... I probably was like, nah. Some things, hold on. What happened? If it has to do with this topic, it might not. There you go. I'm going to drop it again. Hold on. Yeah, it's gonna violate the because of the topic, I bet. Analysis, but stay within policies. It's a sensitive topic. This is for journalism. Document was shortly before Epstein's 2019 arrest. Yeah, it's not gonna. The topic is too spicy for ChatGPT. Well, would Grok do it? Probably Grok could do it. Let's see if it gives a. I haven't really trained this much, but the mine doesn't give MAGA takes, at least from what I've experienced with Grok. Okay, letter is written on behalf of an unnamed female client. Okay, it gives the background of the victim. Met Epstein at the age of 16, friends with Bill Clinton. Okay, so it documents grooming and abuse of a victim. No, I want to. Is this from a court case? So it's an excerpt from a court case? None of this is like, it's just information that already exists, but given and sold to you as if like it's new. It doesn't take away from the fact that these are victims and this is a person, real person, but like if you're looking for, as if this trove of information from the GOP is like, oh, well, the Democrats dropped theirs, well, look we got more. It's kind of wild. Okay, so that one just sensitive topic on the ChatGPT one. So they didn't want to read that one. What about this one? Another court case. You should be able to read this one. The last one had very specific victim details, so that's probably why ChatGPT was not going to read it. Now, yeah, court filing from Florida's 15th Judicial Circuit. Jeffrey Epstein versus Scott Rothstein and Bradley J. Edwards. Okay, yeah, another one. Okay, well, you get a little bit before it's like, no, policies. So a lot of the topics here, my chat GPT won't like. You're gonna likely have to feed it to Grok, which that sucks, but if you don't, as long as you don't train your AI to be MAGA, you're fine. Like, or like you gotta have it source shit. But if you're not like telling it, give me the right wing opinion, give me the right wing take, and then your AI will do that for you. But it's not giving you the truth. Explain it to me, but be MAGA. The MAGA feelings. He said it is a tool, not real. Yeah, a tool that you can train, though. If you train your AI to give you takes a certain way, it will do that. If you're like, tell me the news, but do it in like a 1940s style news report, it will do that. And do that for you every single time if that's what you tell it to do. Okay, it doesn't want to open this one. Give me, whenever I give you information, give it back to me as if you're mad at me. And it will do that. Every time I talk to you, talk shit to me back, or like, and then the AI will do it if you tell it to. For ours, we just give it information about current events and have it fact check stuff, which it does, and it will do. Another court case, irrelevant. How much more time should we spend on this? Do you guys need to see more? I mean, I gave you guys the links in the chat. I mean, this is nothing. I mean, it's not nothing in terms of what Epstein did. This is more of just shining light on Epstein's crimes and his connections to the wealthy. But I don't think this is all already information we already have. It's coming from books already written or news articles from 2011. It's a bunch of nothing. It truly is a bunch of nothing here. Obama? Oh boy. I see Obama on this one. I see Obama's name. What's this one say? Stephen Victor, CEO of Intelli Biosciences. The view of U.S. stem cell therapy. As part of the House oversight, Epstein estate document release, likely because Dr. Victor was linked to Epstein's investment or business network. The email shows the kind of industry reports and developments from Epstein's circle was tracking. This is a strategy, though. It's like this is how Republican media works. This is how right-wing media works. When something important happens, they hammer you with 18 different versions of the story. All opinions and feelings. Never the facts. And this is similar to where you get the emails this morning showing the connection to Trump, knowing at least of the activities of Epstein and the pedophilia. And then they in turn respond by giving you 23,000 pages of nothing to just distract you. Obama overturned the Bush era ban on funding for embryonic stem cell research. Okay. This file is a window in the Epstein-linked biotech ecosystem. Okay. Is anyone else talking about? It broke Grok too. Grok is probably like, nah, I don't even care. Tom Emmer sucks. The dog who barked. House confirms a meeting happened. So the White House confirmed the meeting with Lauren Boebert. Oh, and it did. There was nothing, though. Is this the trove? White House meets with Lauren Boebert, a Republican who said she wants to the Justice Department to release their trove. Or is it the ones that we're waiting for? Also, I think there's even more from this morning, too. I'm going to pull up the link. Everybody check in. How you doing this afternoon? Where'd the link? Also waiting for the house to come back from their recess. Trying to find the link Nikki put. Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah, I guess it would just be in the house. Yeah, there's 16 pages in this. Let me put the actual relevant one now for you guys, because the House GOP one sucks ass. It's absolutely nothing. Okay. All right, just put the Democrat one. 16 pages long. Could I put this whole thing into it? Now let's do this. I'm gonna read it all myself, but then we'll use this as a summary afterwards. Okay. Here's the Democrat oversight files. It's a PDF. I think it should do a PDF file. Ah, no text to be extracted. Why not? What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong with it? Do I need to save it as a different? Maybe not save as a PDF? Maybe it just can't read PDF files. Any way to convert the format easy and saving it? Oh, save as. Look at Discord. We're in Discord. I'm in the discussion section. Go back to the main drive and open in the images folder. Go back to the main drive and open in images. So go back to where I have it saved. I'm so smart with computers, guys, clearly. I'm just the smartest. You just posted something? I see something from Grunge thing. What should I open it as? Save as a Word or searchable? Okay, that's what I'm... Okay. Okay, it's converting it into a Word document. Scan it in Acrobat. If you transcribe, you'll be able to read it. If I transcribe it, is there a quick way to save as and scroll? Open as PDF. Okay, and then what? I'm trying to open the link. Let me see this here. Hold on. I don't think Control F would work here now. Control F. Or is that what I'm looking for? I have to resubscribe to freaking. Okay, we're back up PDFX. Alt F4. Apparently I don't have like PDF anything. Packet redacted. I'm not looking in the right place. What do you mean? Where the hammer? Share it into the discussion section. Where are you sharing? Into politics or what? All Palm Beach accounts. Okay. What is this? Might be a client pay list. How many names are here? There's some addresses here. Looks like names and businesses, 3,000. All Palm Beach accounts, average monthly consumption, fiscal years 0708. Donald J. Trump, $9,826. Consumption 2746 of what? Okay, guys can also find this in our Discord. Could be. $2,746, huh? You got names and businesses. Looks like a lot of addresses here. But I don't know, anything coming out of the House GOP, anything, I'm just either don't care or it's irrelevant. So it could be. They could have made a couple. The one thing is in that 23,000, there could be an oopsie in there, and they included something that they shouldn't have. Okay, well, I'll just read it. I'll read the House Democrat one from here. Time, June 3rd, 2019. Once they are gone, the monarchy is dependable. Okay, sender gnutez@gmail.com, blah, blah, blah. Prince Andrew and Trump today, too funny. Blah, 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 no. Recall Prince Andrew's accuser came out of Mar-a-Lago. Okay, sender Steve Bannon. Can't believe nobody is making you the connective tissue. From June to okay, F and B only. Who's F and B? Okay, I wonder who that could be. Jeffrey. Oh, so this is emails to Epstein. So that G and Tiz is Epstein. Yeah, they're playing around. They all know that they're covering up for all this. It's not like they're playing stupid. They all know this is happening. Steve Bannon and the MAGA architects of the movement all know this is happening, or all happened. New York Times, Donald Trump's high crimes and misdemeanors will call you from New York. Morris concedes that American Dharma could be an uncomfortable experience for those still wrestling with the realities of the Trump era in America. It's kind of a horror movie. Okay. It makes no difference whether it was his money. Issue is a failure to disclose. Plus, fact that he has lied his ass off about it makes it clear he knew it was illegal. I think he makes the argument that it was Trump's money, making it not illegal. Though he also said he only found out afterwards, and the fact, according to the indictment, was billed as services rendered and grossed up. I'm sure his account flipped anyway. I did talk in detail to Starr yesterday about the indictments, how Trump could make a deal. Clinton's trash can. Yes, Starr gave me more. Here's a story from the New York Times I thought you'd find interesting. The principled case for impeachment is clear. What's missing is the courage. Okay. From Larry Summers. Friends for 3 decades, Trump whisperer says he is stunned by president's rhetoric. The importance is high. SoftBank deputy guy I liked and seemed aware. Honest. For the Sun, lots of slathering to Saudis. I yipped about inclusion. I observed that half the IQ in world was possessed by women. without mentioning they are more than 51% of the population. Munchin plumbs new depths. War seems more likely than I used to think. Donald J. Trump is the world's luckiest guy in terms of opposition economy. Still think his world will collapse. I'm trying to figure why American elite think if you murder your baby by beating and abandonment, it must be irrelevant to your admission to Harvard. But hit on a few women 10 years ago and can't work at a network or think tank. Do not repeat this insight. Sent from my iPad. That was from Larry Summers to Jeffrey Epstein. Okay. Anyone stand out? When I meet, I will endeavor to mesmerize you with stories of DC. So wild. Was there, spoke well, spent time with SoftBank Deputy Najib or some PIF guy too, flying back. How is life among lucrative and okay. What does that word mean? Disreputable or sordid? What is that? So bad? Okay. How are you? Send this interview to Donald Trump, please. It's going to be everywhere from Jeff Epstein to who knows. YouTube link. Jeff Epstein to LHS. Is Donald still feeling good? Importance is high. Your world does not understand how dumb he really is. He will blame everyone around him for bad results. Gary Cohen's in a good place, as is Jared. All others not long for this world. Interesting argument whether using WhatsApp is obstruction of justice. Deletes after sending? Jesus. More would represent Donald if Koslowitz out of picture. Not surprising. Very hard to be law firm representing POTUS and not know what to do, and POTUS lies to you. My world thinks poorly of Gorlick for representing Jared. How guilty is Donald? Of cruelty, surely. Of gross ignorance, surely. Of being utterly without the intellect, temperament for job, surely. Of being over-lying on family profiteering, very likely. Of gross disregard for appearances, almost surely. Of Russians having financial leverage, less clear. Of Russians helping an election with complicity of his campaign, plausible but not certain. Strikes me if you work for Donald, you don't freelance, so he is guilty of whatever his campaign did. Do you agree with foregoing? Wild. There will be some changes this week. Funny, but Koslowitz is getting turned down repeatedly by firms unwilling to represent Donald. They have a choice, and if so, your view? Do you want it or Jared? Okay. From Ashley Parker to Reed Weingarten from a Washington Post story. Hi, Reed. Ashley Parker here at the Washington Post. I cover the White House, and I'm emailing because my colleague Bob Costa and I are getting ready to post a story about President Trump's decision to move ahead with retaining outside counsel. And we understand you're one of the finalists for the role, and I've already spoken with senior White House officials. I just want to let you know that we plan to mention your name and, of course, see if you want to comment. I also wanted to check and see if you were open to chatting totally off the record, just in case there's any nuance or guidance you'd like to provide. I'm at blank or my desk is blank blank. Thanks, Ashley. From Roy Black to Jeffrey Epstein, he will be by himself, perhaps a Trump administration aide to assist and accompany him. Okay. Who will represent Acosta at hearings. From Kathy Rumler to Jeffrey Epstein, Importance is high. No, I ranked much lower. If he's MacGyver, are you Marla Maples? Who's Marla Maples? Hard to imagine. He really does remind me of MacGyver, and I am suffering PTSD. Was Marla Maples is one of Trump's wife is? So, his second wife? Okay. Listen, I don't know shit. I don't really know shit about Trump prior to The Apprentice and being on The Apprentice and then going to Republican World. I didn't know shit. "2016 Trump having a great deal of fun. In hindsight, you were right about staying away from Andrew. I was right in staying with Ronaldo. What's the Donald White House and how are you?" In the Donald White House. I have decided to extend my life by spending more of it in the U.S. If I want OCR. The what? I'm reading the Democratic one that was released today. There's an opportunity to come forward this week and talk about Trump in such a way that could garner you great sympathy and help finish him. Are you interested? From Michael Wolff to Epstein in 2016. Now could be the time. From Epstein to Michael Wolff on 2016, May 25th. Nussbaum White House counsel, Hillary doing naughties with Vince. What? What's the thumbnail on the Nussbaum Foster? Maybe you can ask why Nussbaum got Vince Foster's letter quickly. That's a Hillary problem. He would smile. Then you can ask his relationship with electricians unions in Mar-a-Lago. And out you go. What's up with the bad grammar? Like, what's up with these billionaires typing like they have zero education other than how to make money? It's like constantly with the elite reading their emails and shit. They write like they're 5 years old. Job is to get hard ones in without being ejected from the room. What's the one question that pierces through? Do you want to be proactive? Trump shuttle, Hawaiian tropic contests, mortgage on Mar-a-Lago, revenue of golf courses as income, total debt of all people don't want to contribute money. As he said, he is worth over 10 billion. Why should they? California already coming up short. Father with 2 T's bought chips in the casino to stave off bankruptcy. Chips because it was better than the first lien under the gambling rules. Matt, his bag man, his loan from his brother-in-law. How much did his father leave? His brother Robert, etc. Otherwise, you can just throw easies. I'm interviewing him this afternoon. Anything you think I should ask? It's like they have their own language. Send photos of you and child. Make me smile. From Jeffrey Epstein. Hope you're well. Photos look good. FYI, I received many calls a week about Donald. Marla, beauty contest, Mar-a-Lago, etc. and Clinton from reporters. Less so recently with Clinton, but my answers are always I have nothing to say. Oh, from Jeff Epstein to Tom. So they were like planning behind the scenes of like how to, in the first term, how to navigate Trump's connection to Epstein. And Epstein himself was doing that. My answers are always I have nothing to say or I try to ignore altogether. A few times I have been ambushed on the street with questions, but I am more careful now. So yeah, Epstein himself was aware that media was investigating the connections to Epstein back in the first term. From Kathy, Rumler to Jeffrey Epstein. Doesn't look like you are prioritizing your schedule very effectively. How are you going to manage all of that? This is Unga week, so the boss will be in town too. What's Unga week? I'll be here all week. You may get sick of me. Just sat down on the train, so can't talk freely. This is in 2014. Okay, on September 19th, 2014, Jeffrey Epstein wrote, "Girls, careful, I will renew an old habit." Oh, God. This week, Thiel, Summers, Bill Burns, Gordon Brown, Jagland, Council of Europe, and Noble Chairman. Mongolia President, or Prez, Hardeep Puree, Boris Jabor, Sultan, Coslin, Icon Black, Woody. You are welcome guests at any. Also, if you think there are interesting people in town, everyone here for Climate Summit, Clinton Security Council. Holy shit, I'm on blank for next 30 minutes. They'll have nicknames. Of course they would. Most girls do not have to worry about this crap. Understood, it comes down to high risk, reward, low risk, reward, professional, emotional, and financial. Agreed, I need to be prepared to say yes before I talk to him. You said, where is the definitive proof? This is, what do you mean? We're reading the definitive proof. Yep, we're reading it. We're reading the exchanges of emails between Jeffrey Epstein and people looking into him and his associates, and more emails and information's coming out. Are you going to be able to literally go back in time into the room with Jeff Epstein and his victims and be there and be like, oh yeah, there it is. There, yep, I see it. Nope. You're never going to be able to do that. One, he's dead. And two, like, they're clearly actively covering up anything. Like, the administration is doing the most to try to cover everything up. That's why these emails are coming out. So you will never have a situation in which you can, like, in 4K, see Epstein trafficking young women. And plus, why would you want to, like, I mean, you'd probably be arrested for watching that anyways. But even then, you're not going to have that. That will not exist. So you have to deal with shit like this and information like this. And if you can't, then consuming information just isn't for you then, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. I think a great opportunity has arisen, just like the headline. This is from Huffington Post. Oh, this is from Jeffrey Epstein about the Huffington Post to Peggy Siegel. I think a great opportunity has arisen, just like the headlines of a hotel maid now proven to have lied in the Stas Khan case. The girl who accused Prince Andrew can also easily be proven to be a liar. I think Buckingham Palace would love it. You should task someone to investigate the girl blank that has caused the Queen's son all of this aggression. I promise you she is a fraud. You and I will be able to go to Ascot for the rest of our lives. I know there is a public police report that no one has had the courage to publish, as they do not want to be seen attacking a victim, but being falsely accused will be the new headline. Friday, July 1st, 2011, Peggy Siegel wrote, if you rewrite your last email in better grammar, and so I have a better understanding, I can cut and paste and send it to Ariana Huffington from me. Did you know why Prince Albert's Charlene fled to the airport with a one-way ticket back to South Africa? Because she found out about a third illegitimate child that is 3 months old. The palace officials followed her to the airport and probably made her an offer she could not refuse. She will get details from Jim Coleman when she comes home Sunday night. Jesus. From Jeffrey Epstein to Peggy Siegel. Should you point out that Ariana Huffington, the same type of person, same as Strauss-Kahn, is Andrew's accuser, long criminal record, total liar. Ariana should champion the dangers of false allegations, send a reporter or reporters to investigate. The palace would love it. The girl in the photo was nothing more than a telephone answerer. She was never 15. According to her version, she worked for Trump. First at that age, at Mar-a-Lago, It's ridiculous, but the press, like Strauss-Kahn, is afraid to question women. Who was Strauss-Kahn? This guy? The head of the IMF? Okay. Okay, that was back in 2011. Friday, March 4th, 2011, Ghislaine Maxwell, from the Duke to G-Max, whoever G-Max is. Hey there, what's all this? I don't know anything about this. You must say so, please. This has nothing to do with me. I can't take any more of this. From Jeffrey Epstein to the Duke, about Maxwell. And there's nothing there, to Maxwell. Oh, it's G-Max is Maxwell. Okay, G-Max is Ghislaine Maxwell. FYI, following up on my email this morning. Again, I have no intention of responding unless you direct otherwise. Dear Jaffe, I left you a telephone message earlier. The Mail on Sunday newspaper is running a story on Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein, Prince Andrew, and others this weekend. We urgently require responses from Miss Maxwell to the following questions. Our deadline is noon tomorrow. My telephone numbers are blank blank. Okay, and Whitridge, on behalf of the Mail on Sunday. One, blank, says Ghislaine Maxwell offered her a job as a masseuse with Jeffrey Epstein when she was aged 15. Miss Maxwell led blank upstairs on her first visit to him at Palm Beach House. Mr. Epstein was naked on the massage table. Miss Maxwell initiated a bisexual encounter during which Miss Maxwell rubbed her own breasts on Mr. Epstein and directed blank to copy her. Please respond to those allegations of all others. Original Jane Doe 102 complaint. Miss Maxwell took part in numerous other sexual encounters involving her assistant, blank blank, and Mr. Epstein. Mrs. Maxwell kept sex toys and costumes in the Palm Beach mansion and dressed blank prior to sex sessions with Mr. Epstein. Maxwell herself wore black vinyl during sex sessions with Mr. Epstein. Blank was paid between $200 and $5,000 US, depending on whether it involved travel and other men. Okay, that was the price. Blank was required to have sex with friends of Miss Maxwell and Mr. Epstein, including Glenn Dubin, Les Wexner, Ehud Barak, former Senator George Mitchell, and Stephen Coslin. Miss Maxwell introduced blank to Prince Andrew in 2001 at Miss Maxwell's London house, where blank had sex with him. Blank subsequently was directed to meet him at Mr. Epstein's New York house, where Mrs. Maxwell directed blank to sit on Andrew's knee with blank. Andrew groped both girls. And freaking Alexa just went off. I think it's because when I said Lex Wesner. Miss Maxwell introduced to Prince Andrew 2011. I said Prince Andrew groped both girls. Mrs. Maxwell directed blank after this to have sex with Andrew. Mrs. Maxwell and Mr. Epstein subsequently traveled with blank to Little St. James, where she was directed to stage an orgy for Andrew and Mr. Epstein, during which she performed oral sex on both of them. Blank was paid extra by Mr. Epstein or his employees for these sexual encounters. Mrs. Maxwell knew blank's age and laughed about it when she introduced her to Andrew. Mrs. Maxwell and Mr. Epstein tried to persuade blank to bear his child. After sexual encounters with male friends of Mr. Epstein and or Miss Maxwell and Mr. Epstein would ask blank explicit questions about what went on. Mr. Epstein's residence... So that's how they got dirt on people. What a sick operation. So they had their own little thing, obviously, and Epstein's pedophilia, and Maxwell helped it, but then they weaponized it and weaponized that to then send underage women to the elite and then get blackmail on them. Holy. Mr. Epstein's residencies in Florida and New York had surveillance cameras that taped the sex sessions and taped blank even in the bathroom. Jesus. Mrs. Maxwell and Mr. Epstein arranged for Oud Barak to have sex with several girls, often at Mr. Epstein's Palm Beach house. Mrs. Maxwell piloted President Bill Clinton in a helicopter to a dinner on Little St. James where two brunettes, Miss Maxwell, Virginia, and Mr. Epstein were at the table. Mr. Epstein bought Miss Maxwell the helicopter, homes in New York and London, and a Mercedes. Jesus. Oh, now there's certainly some. When was that? That was in 2011. Okay. Well, more will continue to come out. Any more come out while I've been live? Not the bullshit GOP one. I don't care about that. No, who's that? Who's that? I don't, I guess. EHUD Barak. Oh, nice. Just the general and former prime minister of Israel. He served as the prime minister and minister of defense from 1999 to 2001. Nice. Well, imagine that. You don't say. You don't say. Jesus. Are we funding Israel to hide the Epstein connections? Oh. No, it's the other. Oh, God. That's why we're bound to Israel, because they have. Oh, man. What is this now? Oh, is this what we're reading? That's from earlier. Will, we already got it. You're late, Will. Thought you already dropped a new email. Am I missing another batch here? There's 16 pages here. Is there more? Where's the special cake? What the heck? There's more? Where's the other? Where's this now? You guys have a link to this email batch? I'm at the door and I will wait for my time. I don't want to come early to find Trump in your house. Special cake. There is stuff in the GOP drop. You just didn't look in the right place. What do you mean I didn't look at where? What area did I need to look in? Images? Yeah, I know you did. I have it. Wait, are you talking about the spreadsheet? We just pulled that up already. Are you posting in another different section? Go to images. Pictures of the book. I had to make sure it wasn't going to be anything nuts. Pictures of a book. Okay. Go to like 11. Fuck me.
The House will be in order.
Okay, I guess we're shit. What are we looking at there? Jesus.
The chair lays before the House a communication.
Scared the shit out of me. I guess we're back in there. I guess we're back in session. I forgot I had the stream up.
The Honorable, the Speaker, House of Representatives, sir. I have the honor to transmit herewith a copy of the Certificate of Election received from the Honorable Adrian Fontes, Arizona Secretary of State, indicating that the special election held on September 23, 2025, the Honorable Adelita Grijalva was duly elected representative in Congress for the 7th Congressional District,
420 friendly
State of
stream.
Arizona.
Yep.
Signed sincerely, Kevin F. McCumber, Clerk.
They're swearing her in.
Representative-elect Grijalva and members of the Arizona delegation present themselves in the well, and all members will rise.
Finally.
And the representative-elect will raise her right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that you take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which you are about to enter, so help you God?
I do.
Congratulations, you're now a member of the 119th Congress.
Epstein files. Bang.
Without objection, the gentleman from Arizona is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is my pleasure to rise today to congratulate our newest colleague and fellow Arizonan on her swearing in as the representative from Arizona's 7th Congressional District, Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva. Congresswoman Grijalva has concentrated her career on issues associated and advocating for students and supporting families. As she follows her late father's footsteps, and boy, those are some footsteps, especially with those bolo ties. Wow. I have no doubt she will bring to the halls of Congress the same energy that has defined her years of.
All right, I'm gonna spark up now.
As Dean of the Arizona Congressional Delegation, I wish to congratulate Congresswoman Grijalva and welcome her to the United States House of Representatives. I now yield to my friend from Arizona, Mr. Stanton.
Mr. Speaker, thank you, and thank you to Congressman Gosar, the new Dean of Arizona's State's Delegation. It has been a minute since we've all been together on the House floor. Looking for cobwebs around here. As Dean, Congressman Gosar replaces the late Congressman Raul Grijalva, one of the most impactful leaders in Arizona history. And now, with great pride, I rise today to do something we have waited 50 long days to do, exactly 49 days too long, and that is to introduce our colleague from Arizona, Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva. Since September 23rd, the people of Arizona have been waiting for this day, and the excuses for the delay have changed seemingly daily. First, they said they need an election certificate, though one isn't required. Then they wanted to make sure there was enough pomp and circumstance. Then we were informed about a non-existent Pelosi precedent. At one point, the speaker went on television and said, quote, "Bless her heart, she is representative-elect, she doesn't know how it works around here." Bless his heart, because here's how it should work. Let's call it the Adelita Grijalva precedent. When the American people vote, this chamber respects their will and seats them immediately. Politics should never come into play. Mr. Speaker, Congresswoman Grijalva is a native Tucsonan, the granddaughter of a bracero who came here from Mexico, the youngest woman ever elected to the Tucson Unified School Board, serving 20 years, then a Pima County supervisor fighting for working families, affordable housing, early childhood education. She brings that same fight to Congress. The people of Arizona's 7th District placed their trust in her, and today that trust is rewarded. And her first act of Congress will be a powerful one. She will be the 218th and final signature on the discharge petition to force the Trump administration to release the Epstein files, delivering long overdue justice and accountability for hundreds of victims abused by rich and powerful men. She is a smart, principled fighter through and through. Mr. Speaker, it is my honor to welcome and introduce to this chamber Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva.
Muchas gracias. Good job. Thank you. Muchas gracias. Gracias. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Muchas gracias. Thank you so much. Thank you to my colleague and friend, Congressman Stanton, for that kind introduction, and to the entire Democratic delegation from Arizona and the delegation that stood here with me that has supported me throughout this process. I rise today the proud granddaughter of a bracero, a hardworking Mexican immigrant.
Let's go.
Who came to this country for a better life. And I stand as the proud daughter of a U.S. congressman, a man who spent his entire life fighting for justice, equity, and dignity for the most vulnerable. Yeah. From working as a vaquero to serving in Congress in just a single generation, that is the promise of this country. That is the America I want to raise my 3 beautiful children in, Adelina, Raul, and Joaquin. Stand up, baby. Look at them. They, along with my amazing husband, Sol, and my wonderful mama, Ramona, are here with me today.
Everybody check into the stream. Check in.
Muchas gracias por su apoyo y tu amor. And thank you to la gente of Southern Arizona for making history, electing me, the first Latina, the first Chicana from Arizona to ever go to Congress. Este momento es histórico para nuestra comunidad. Es un honor ser la primera latina en representar a Arizona en el Congreso y les aseguro que aunque soy la primera, no será la última.
I think she said like I might be the first, but I won't be the last.
And while we celebrate this moment today, our American promise is under serious threat. Basic freedoms are under attack. Healthcare premiums are skyrocketing. Babies are being ripped away from their parents by masked agents. We can and must do better. What is most concerning is not what this administration has done, but what the majority in this body has failed to do. Hold Trump accountable as a co-equal branch of government that we are. It has been 50 days since the people of Arizona's 7th Congressional District elected me to represent them. 50 days that over 800,000 Arizonans have been left without access to the basic services that every constituent deserves. This is an abuse of power. One individual should not be able to unilaterally obstruct the swearing in of a duly elected member of Congress for political reasons.
She's coming out swinging.
Our democracy only works when everyone has a voice. This includes the millions of people across the country who have experienced violence and exploitation, including Liz Stein and Jessica Michaels, both survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's abuse. They are here in the gallery with us this evening. Thank you for being here.
Because she's about to sign the petition and force it. It wouldn't be in the gallery if it wasn't going to happen.
Just this morning, House Democrats released more emails showing that Trump knew more about Epstein's abuses than he previously acknowledged. It's past time for Congress to restore its role as a check and balance on this administration and fight for we, the American people. We need to fight for our immigrant communities and veterans. We need to stand up for our public schools, children, and educators. We need to respect tribal sovereignty in our environment. We need to stand up for LGBTQ+ rights because that's what the American people expect us to do. Fight for them. That is why I will sign the discharge petition right now to release the Epstein.
Let's go. Nice. Immediately. Do it like Trump does and like sit down right there and sign it. That's what I would do.
Justice cannot wait another day. Adelante, mi gente. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. I yield back.
Got him. And is she signing? She's signing it right now, literally. My first order of business as well, she's goated now.
Under Clause 5 of Rule 20, the chair announces to the House that in light of the administration of the oath of the gentleman from Arizona, the whole number of the House is now 433.
Go fuck yourself. Cuck Johnson. Well, why is he so happy? I don't know, because I don't know. Just gotta put a face on. Okay, so that happened. She's gonna sign the discharge, and then Ro Khanna and Massey's bill. There you go. Drip, 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 drip. MAGA is dead. Uh-oh. The new king of the right wing. The new king of the right wing is deemed MAGA dead. Uh-oh. Oh, 30,000 likes. Uh-oh. I don't like you. We could smoke the pack together. Uh-oh. MAGA. No. No. I'm trying to read reactions, so what's happening? How Sydney Sweeney lost it. Did she even fight in it though? Like, I think the Sydney Sweeney thing is the biggest fucking clusterfuck of nothing from all sides that I've ever seen. She literally is like just doesn't even have, she doesn't say anything. She just like is used as like propaganda, I think. Or does she have a political platform that I'm just like not aware of? Does she have like a podcast or something and I'm missing it and she's MAGA as fuck? Am I missing that? Or is literally she just blonde, attractive, and then used and passed around in like propaganda? And then American Eagle used her, and then MAGA uses her, and then it's just fucking nothing. She could be, like, she probably could be. I don't think she has a platform of being a MAGA or right wing at all. Like I said yesterday when I saw Sydney Sweeney shit, if you asked her about it, I bet you she would be like, I don't know. I don't know. I had no fucking idea what's going on. It's just because you did them. What happened was the American Eagle used her in that ad about jeans, and then MAGA was like, this is the best thing ever. And then that made other people mad because of what MAGA used the thing that also American Eagle used her for. Meanwhile, Sydney Sweeney herself probably doesn't even know anything. Doesn't even know what's going on. It just doesn't seem like the type of person that does. Not like a slight at her. She's a successful young woman, but like, unless they have like unless the individual that's getting attention has an actual platform that they're using to further the right wing agenda, I don't care. They're not I don't care. Unless they're a person that has a platform and they're using it to further right-wing nationalism and MAGA bullshit, which is dying, but it's going to be Groiper shit now. They're whatever. They're going to be used by corporations and shit. Okay. If they themselves are doing it, then they're the enemy or they're the op. But I don't give a fuck. So many people out here. Meaning that a pretty remarkable pressure campaign, including phone call from the president and a person meeting in the Situation Room. Oh, dang. Wait, they had a meeting in a Situation Room about it? Oh, no. Oh, no. They had us. Okay, a discharge petition signed, as we saw. We saw her signing it. So that means that... And look, you can see, is that Massey? That's Massey and Ro Khanna with the Democrats right there. So they're gonna get it voted likely next. Boebert's also there. You know, the Republicans that are gonna side with the Democrats for this are because they haven't gotten enough in the MAGA world, and Trump is obviously enriching people richer than they are. They're still rich, like Laura, the Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greenes, but they're realizing, and not in a way that's like morally sound. Like their morals aren't changing. They're still pieces of shit, but their position within rich people world is not accelerating, and they've literally like put MAGA on their everything. They've literally like tap danced for MAGA, and they're not getting anything for all of their tap dancing. And so they're now going to be taking moves that are going to harm Trump, not out of like, oh, we're good people now, but out of spite. That's how Republican world works. You didn't give me the position. Okay, backstab. You didn't give me what I wanted. Okay. Stab in the back. I don't give a fuck. So you're gonna have Marjorie and others. They're still MAGA. They're still gonna play their MAGA messaging. Nothing's gonna change there, but you will see them take moves that will harm the politics of MAGA and harm the success, especially Massey too, because Massey and Trump went at it. Trump was tweeting at Massey directly, or subtweeting him, or no, or a true thing about Massey months ago. And in MAGA world, you only have success if you suck Trump. And I keep saying that, and people think it's like hyperbolic. Or no, you're just saying that because you don't like Trump. No, that if you want to do well in the Republican Party right now, you have to literally go on your knees for him. And everything is Trump. Trump, Trump, Trump. No original thought. Trump liked it, so it's good. Trump said it, so it must be true. Everything. Turns out there's a few that aren't, like, they'll do that to an end. There's an end to that, apparently. Thankfully. Some people are stuck that way. Well, at least we have the house in session now to look at. Twitch should be back up in a few hours, y'all. Let's go back here. So, discharge petition signed. You MAGAs were conned by the dumbest motherfuckers on the planet. Just admit it. Making America more affordable.
Brian, you're going to see some substantial announcements over the next couple of days in terms of things we don't grow here in the United States. You know, coffee being one of them, you know, bananas, other fruits, things like that. So that will bring the prices down very quickly.
Like what? Removing the tariffs? And then he's going to go, I lowered the prices. Look, America, I did it. Wow.
And Brian, we inherited this affordability. This was the worst inflation, 40, 50 years, one of the worst in the nation's history. And affordability has two components. So there's the price level.
No, they're not even gonna argue. Eventually they'll be like, what tariffs? We didn't do tariffs. We just the demo doba. This is us cleaning up Biden's mess. We're still cleaning up Biden's mess, okay? And there's gonna be road bumps along the way. What do you expect? Perfection? They're the most transparent administration in history. They're out there every day. President Trump is out there every day working for you. I could be a right-wing propagandist in 3 seconds. Easy mode. That's the easy mode.
And then there is income level. And what happened under Biden was the cumulative inflation, stated inflation, CPI, was 23%. But what happened to working Americans, their basket of goods and services, food, insurance, auto payments was up in the 30s. So they felt a real gigantic differential there. And what we are going to do is, by bringing back high-paying manufacturing jobs, President Trump is going to do what he did in the first term, and that is for hourly workers and working Americans to have real wage increases. So
how?
Brian, imagine two lines. There is the inflation line. We've got that under control. It's leveled out. That is going to start turning down. Then there's the income line, which under Biden, because so many of the jobs were government jobs.
Remember when Democrats went to bat for this guy because Trump was going to remove him, and people that like voted for Harris were like, no. And then now this guy's like spreading his asshole for Trump now. I was there.
they get real wage growth from a government job. Real wages are going to increase, and I would expect in the first quarter, second quarter of next year, those two lines are going to cross, and the American people are going to start feeling better.
You see, Brian, someone put these stupid tariffs on things we don't grow here. But then also we're going to have the inflation is going to like level out and start to lower, and then wages will increase, and then they're going to just somehow meet in the middle. And it'll be like a magic trick, and like, yeah. We don't give a fuck about the pores. That's what he wants to say.
House will be in order. Colleagues, members,
what now?
Please remove your conversations from the floor, clear the aisle, so that proceedings in the House may continue.
Finally. Epstein files.
For what purposes, the gentleman from Tennessee rise?
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that the Committee on the Judiciary be discharged from further consideration of H.R. 4405 and ask for its immediate consideration in the House.
Under guidelines consistently issued by successive speakers, as recorded in Section 956 of the House Rules and Manual, the chair is constrained not to entertain the request unless it has been cleared by the bipartisan floor and committee leaderships.
So, denied?
What purpose did the gentleman from Tennessee seek recognition?
Parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Speaker. We Republicans are requesting this unanimous consent. Are Democrats objecting to this request?
Chair reminds the gentleman from Tennessee that as indicated by Section 956 of the House Rules and Manual, it is not a proper parliamentary inquiry to ask the chair to indicate which side of the aisle has failed under the Speaker's guidelines to clear a unanimous consent request, as was stated.
What is the HR again? Did you guys catch the HR? I should have listened to the number. Shit, my bad. So we could look.
The gentlelady from Minnesota seek recognition.
Mr. Speaker, by the direction of the Committee on Rules, I call up House Resolution 873 and ask for its immediate consideration.
The clerk will report the resolution.
House Calendar Number 46, House Resolution 873. Resolved that upon adoption of this resolution, it shall be in order to take from the Speaker's table the bill H.R. 5371, making continuing appropriations and extensions for fiscal year 2026 and for other purposes, with the Senate amendment thereto, and to consider in the House without intervention of any point of order a motion offered by the Chair of the Committee on Appropriations or his designee that the House concur in the Senate amendment. The Senate amendment and the motion shall be considered as read. The motion shall be debatable for 1 hour, equally divided and controlled by the chair and ranking minority member of the Committee on Appropriations or their respective designees. The previous question shall be considered as ordered on the motion to its adoption without intervening motion.
Oh, it was to try to disband the... It was to try to end this? It was to try to suspend...
The lady from Minnesota is recognized for 1 hour.
Oh, boy.
Mr. Speaker, for the purpose of...
Oh, chat, I don't know, man. She's going to be arguing for modify the rate of pay for care for services under the TRICARE program, which is good. Oh, so he was calling to end the Tennessee... Damn. Good thing they denied it. Okay. Because the HR 4405 is Ro Khanna's, that's the Epstein files. That's what they needed to sign, the new congresswoman to sign from Arizona. And now this can go forward. Because this is how it works. It's cringe. But it's how it works, right? You got a problem, you got to bring it to the Congress like this, and then you got to get co-signers and lobbying and all types of shit. But this is with anything. All right, this is how I'm just a bill, and it starts like this. It gets introduced, but to get introduced, you have to have lobbying, and people go there, and you'd be like, I got a problem, and this is my problems, and this is how we can solve it, and then you got to work with the Congress, and then they themselves with their team introduce what you're upset about, and then it's got to go to the House, and then obviously the Senate, the President, and then the President will sign it. if it gets that far, whatever. But this is what we had to do with Ukraine too. When we'd go to Congress to try to lobby to help Ukraine, we had to check and see if they had any bills already that they have introduced or anything that they were working on to get introduced, so we could try to, you know, bring more attention to it. Because there's a lot of things that are just introduced. Any congressperson can introduce some shit and have whatever, but doesn't mean that it's even going to get looked at on the House floor. Or it will, but then it'll be like shot down for procedural reasons or whatever, like that guy's was, to try to strike down. And you can have procedural, I don't know what it's called exactly, but to try to strike down basically what we just saw the Tennessee congressman do, to try to stop bills from being introduced and denied. But I don't want to, do we really need to listen to her argue for an hour about TRICARE? Doesn't sound fun. Doesn't sound good to me. Doesn't sound too good to me. I don't know. If you, JT Sestowski just retweeted, if you're a journalist and you're not asking questions about this case, which one? The Epstein case? What possible interest would the U.S. government have in keeping Epstein's clients secret? This 2021 JD Vance. If you're a journalist and you're not asking questions about this case, you should be ashamed of yourself. Okay, Vice President, I'm doing it. I'm asking questions. What purpose do you even serve? I'm sure there is a middle-class teenager somewhere who could use some harassing right now, but maybe try to do your job once in a while. Little sassy boy. The DOJ and Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyers have made a deal that her little black book of contacts would never. Yeah, and this is all Trump shit. This is, look at, they used MAGA propagandists going back to 2021, which if you were MAGA at that point, you're just recently falling off, you have a lot of undoing to do because you have been lied to forever now. But like, Trump and MAGA were wielding all of this as if they weren't the ones in the files the whole time. Maxwell case happened and most MAGA didn't give a fuck. Government funding debate here in the Capitol, hour of debate on the rule, hour of debate on the government's funding package. It should open tonight. Okay, maybe we come back when... I just don't want to sit here all day. I think we got the most important stuff. So the discharge petition signed. She's now a congressperson. You got the Epstein files coming out. Okay, to explain? No. This distraction. Epstein's lawyer claimed the alleged pedophile helped devise the Clinton Global Initiative. Because that's you really? L. Hold this L, Jack. You're the one that went looking in your stupid fucking face that you make. Fucking loser. And yes, I would tell that to his face. Yeah. If you're like MAGA and you're watching, oh, you wouldn't say that to his, I would happily call Jack Pasibic a fucking loser. I'll call all of them losers to their face. What and what? That would be, it would be amazing if I could. Hopefully I can. I'll have like a list of MAGA propagandists that I can call losers, clowns, fucking all the names I want to their face. I would love that. More than ever. What an opportunity. Another vote, yes. Okay, so yeah, it's gonna go through. Yeah, she wasn't wearing her cross today. My most blue-anon habit is to reflexively check if she hit her crucifix, like a movie character flipping over a photo of their spouse and kids before cheating. I didn't even realize she wasn't wearing her cross. I'm supposed to take that off. You're supposed to like keep that on. I don't know. I guess maybe when I used to wear one, it was like all the time. I don't wear one now because not really religious anymore. But when I was, I had a cross and I'd wear it and it wouldn't come off. Anyone check out the influencers this morning? Pretty big day for the issue they're most passionate about. The persistence, all of them. Look at, they had like a carnival of MAGA propagandists. Just went right through the White House, gave them binders. There we go. That's what that was. Yeah, Burchett's request for immediate consideration of the Epstein bill blocked. Blocked. Okay. All right. Well, I don't want to. I literally would rather do anything other than listen to them debate bills.
Straight from the Treasury and deposited.
I would literally do, because if they're debating the Epstein files bill, that would be interesting to listen to. This is just random fucking funding bills. Not good content, chat. Okay? Not good. not the most, like, it could just be boring. Like, it'd be terrible. Yeah, that's how politics should be. But we have fucking grudge match politics now. In ultimate champion final WWE UFC politics now. So it doesn't seem like that. But politics should be boring as fuck. And them arguing funding bills. It shouldn't be like, and that's why the right wing is like it is, because there's nothing for them to argue. Their whole purpose is to enrich millionaires and billionaires, and that's it. So they have to create culture wars and make politics irrelevant shit about like trans people, black people, DEI, this, like it's all distractions. None of that matters. None of that is relevant at all. It's about how much money we're getting. Are we getting our benefits? Are we, all the taxes we paying going to things we want them to go to? And that is what matters, not whether or not somebody is trans. Like, who cares? Who really gives a shit? Honestly, it doesn't matter. Like, that's that person's choice. Okay. Or to live their life how they want to, right? To live their life out how they personally wish to. I don't care. I want my Social Security. I want my Medicare. I want my health insurance. I want to be able to afford a house. I can't even buy a house right now. My parents were already in. Well, they were almost in one already. They had a townhome already at my age. I don't even see myself having a home for another. I'm gonna have to save up till I'm 40, probably 40. That's my goal. A house by 40. And that's, I'm a millennial. I can't imagine kids in Gen Z. Yeah, they're 50, 60 years old. They might get a house. Okay, we can't afford anything. Things are just continuing to cost more. So I don't give a fuck about somebody's genitals. I don't care about color of skin. That shit is all what Republicans use to distract you from the fact that we can't afford shit out here anymore. And they're taking your benefits away. And that's what matters. Okay. And yeah, and then like people's rights and social justice stuff's important, but that's like grassroots things that, well, when it comes time to vote, like it should be like prioritized, not like turned away. You know what I mean? Like in terms of the levels of issues that we have, but because Republicans exist, they're like, no, we can't give benefits to the working class. We can't actually give that to them because that's less money for the rich and the rich people. And so that's really what matters. Not any of this fuck all Republican conservative ass bullshit of any other feelings about it. Pick one. Pick any issue that they're focused on, their own issue they created, their own issue that they made as their campaign promise for Donald Trump being releasing the Epstein files. What's happening with it right now? They're trying to shut it down. MAGA's trying to shut it down and or pretend as if the Epstein files don't even matter now. So their one major issue blew back in their face that they were trying to like whatever, man. It's all just bullshit. Okay. So what really matters is what we can afford, especially in America, and our future. And it's looking bleak for people like me that don't have a house yet, or a family that would like to have one someday. It's looking very difficult to do that. Looking very difficult to impossible to want to do that. So, and we need to pass policies that hold the rich accountable and make them pay their fair share. That's it. They can still be rich. They'll still be fucking rich as hell and still make unlimited more money. There's no cap in America. There's no cap to how much money you can make. Okay. You can just keep making more. You're down. You don't have enough money. Go make more. That's just how it is. So people that are rich will make more money, but they need to pay their fair share in taxes to make sure that we're not bottoming out, which is what we're doing. The top is heavy. The bottom is bottoming out and suffering. And it can't have that. Then the whole society will crumble. It ain't know nothing about religious bullshit and we really need to bring God back. And get the fuck out of here. We are suffering because you can't afford anything. And you don't have health care. It's all cringe. All right, I'm gonna go play games now, or I'm just gonna keep ranting. Look at this old.
Democrats have developed such a visceral reaction when confronted about their abdication of responsibility.
Okay, you need to retire. Oh, she needs to be in the old folks' home and like giving cookies to her like having candies out for her grandkids, talking with her daughter about the weather. Get the fuck are you doing? All right, I'm gonna go play Ghost of Yote then until the shutdown, until they vote on it. Actually, no, I won't have enough time for Yote. Yeah, because I want to sink into that. But I want to go game for a while until we come back and they're about to vote on the shutdown ending. Because I don't want to sit through it. I already went through the Epstein stuff. Arc Raiders. We'll play that until we come back. So we'll be back here. So if you guys go watch another person rant, go do that, I guess, and then come back. We're gonna play Arc until we come back to the House and when they're gonna vote for the government to come back into session. All right, so no, let me know in the chat when they're voting on they're talking about the Epstein release, the Epstein discharge, if that's brought up again. But I'm gonna go play Arc until then. All right, and I don't want to ruin this channel with gaming. I could just start gaming here, but that would ruin it. Half of you would tune out anyways, and then my Mercado Media stream would be video games, and they would be like, what is this guy doing? Gaming now? Wow, what a failure. Gaming stream, come on over, hang out. We're gonna play some Arc. I'll do a couple runs, and then I'll be back here. I'm just literally not sitting through the House debate funding bills. I'm just not going to do that. So come on over. Link is already in the chat. If you're on Facebook, thank you guys again. We should have Twitch back up. Twitch should be back for tonight or for later on. Oops. There we go. Arc Raiders Grind. All right, click that. Click that link. I'll see you guys over there. Facebook, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in a little bit. See you then.